Well, happy Friday, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Aloha to you. My last day in Kauai here, that you guys will get a chance to talk to me. But it's been a fun week. I'm Woodsy. Paul Reindl is our executive producer of the program. How are you, Paulie?
Hey, how are you?
Fantastic. So well rested. Ben Higgins, Ben Higgins is your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Ben, how are you, bud?
Good morning. This has been a long week, obviously, but we are here on Friday, and we are all together, and we have made it to the end of this week.
We have. I'm going to be here till 8 your time, which is 5 my time, a.m. And then we are heading back. Where are we? We're north. We're going to head south down to Poipu. In that area, we're going to do a little tubing trip today. It's going to be a blast. I've heard nothing but good things about it, so hopefully it's great. They're asking in the chat here, KGL, that said, "What's it like to be well rested?" I have no idea. Zero. No idea what it's like to be well rested at all. It's been one of the worst ideas I've ever had. To be sure, I've alienated myself from my family. They've alienated themselves from me, alienated myself from my boss. He's alienated himself from me. Hopefully my co-hosts are still want me to come back. Next week when we get back, going to have to pack everything up, head out to another island and do it all again come Sunday. And hopefully that will be, seamless. As seamless as this has been. At least the quality was good. The quality of the radio was good. So, but I've made some. I don't want to make a rash decision or a snap decision or anything like that. But there's been some conversations about what this needs to look like, moving forward. Certainly, in between my wife and I, and my kids and I, and everybody else. So, anyway. That's where that stands today. Yesterday was pretty low-key, right? Just my kids went and played putt-putt. My wife actually went and looked at a couple of houses with a local real estate agent that she knows. Trust me, we're under no. There's no.
That's
even
how
thought
it
about,
starts, Woods. It's
I know,
just a casual. Let's look at a couple of places, and in a couple of years, you're going to be relocating permanently to the island of Kauai.
I don't think so. The house she looked at, one of them yesterday, was $13 million. The other one was $16 million. So, listen, the extension that we're getting in the new year was good. It's not that good. I can't even fathom what it would be like to spend that much money on a home. Now, I did see some of the views that she took. Now, we're talking it was Carlos Santana's house, was one house that she went and looked at, right?
Okay.
And that looks down onto Ben Stiller's home. Now, that one's not for sale, but she got to go see inside of Carlos Santana's house and all that. So it's pretty gnarly.
The Twins' first baseman or the guitarist?
The guitarist.
Okay.
Yeah, the guitarist, Carlos Santana. That song he did with Rob Thomas, Smooth, I think probably paid for that entire house in cash.
Without a doubt.
Somebody tweeted the other day, they said, they go, "I regret to inform you that once again the song of the summer is Smooth by Rob Thomas and Carlos Santana."
It's just like the ocean under the moon.
Yeah,
it's the same as the emotion that I get from you. I got
That's
the
right.
kind of loving that feels so smooth.
Give me your heart. Yeah. There it is. And he just made another $100,000.
That song was everywhere, like at the turn of the century, I want to say.
Yeah, it was turn of the century. It's exactly when. It was just I worked in a nightclub then, and they played that earlier in the day, and then at night it was Hypnotized by Biggie. And I think they would just play it on repeat. I think that because I knew every word. Yeah,
I don't hate it, actually. I think it's a pretty good song.
No one's surprised by that at all. No one on the planet is surprised by that.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a great song.
I didn't work in a club. I wasn't a DJ. I've heard the song an appropriate amount of times, and I still
hate
like
the
it.
song, but just it's funny that you really like the song.
I do. It's actually one of my favorites.
So she got to go do that, which is kind of cool. And with a local real estate agent that knows her mom, and her mom, then, she was in real estate. So they went and looked at houses for some time. So I had some time to myself yesterday, which was nice. It was nice. I ran a couple of errands.
Cool jerk.
Yeah, oh yeah, believe it. And you I got about a 20-minute nap, which was great. But then, yeah, we had family dinner last night, and then my in-laws took the kids. And so Hannah and I actually got to go home by ourselves. We got to watch a movie together, and that's not code for anything. And then I got to fall asleep and got a good night's sleep. But it's been a long, hot, sunburny week. We did go down to the ocean yesterday. We did a little swimming again, and man, I am like I'm a tomato, dude. Like I'm full on, like just red as can be.
It's starting to turn into a bit of a tan. I can
Yeah, I
see.
hope
I
so.
can see the makings of what could be a future tan for you, Woods.
Well, I got to tell everybody about what happened after the show with you, by the way.
Yeah. So we finished our show at 9. Paulie and I went over, did the round table, which was great. Had some wings, but then when the round table was done, I got to see you again after the show was over.
Yeah, we had there's flies in here, dude. We had an interview with John from Barrett Sports Media, and they cover, take a guess, sports media.
It's what we
Yeah,
would
really
call
good.
the trades. Like,
Yeah, the trades.
For people who are in the business, you read what's going on with your fellow colleagues across the country.
That's exactly right, and he's a really good dude, man, and very knowledgeable about the business. So he calls, or we Zoom in, and we're going to talk about, I guess, our extension, and he wanted to interview us, and so, yeah, no problem. That would be great. So we get on, and we start our interview, and Ben's on there, but you're in your car at this time. It was like right after the roundtable, right?
Yeah, and I had to get to Channel 10 to do some more stories on Billy Ray Smith and his life. So I thought, well, I can just do this Zoom interview. I don't think he needs the video. So
Off
just
to a good start already. Just doing it in the car.
Plugged in the audio to the car. It was going fine. I mean, I thought it was good. I was expecting
You're doing the Bluetooth?
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
Bluetooth, plugged into the car, just driving.
On Zoom.
I was thinking, 15, 20 minutes tops. I mean, what on earth could you ask us about for very long? We got a couple questions about our extension, being here at 97.3 The Fan. All right, done. It's been a great talking to you, John.
Well, look who. So we're in the. That's part. We'll get to that point. But so he's asking us questions, and he was good. He really controlled the interview. He would say, Woods, this one's for you, blah, blah, blah. So then I would answer. And Ben, do you want to follow up on that? Boom. Ben, why don't you start with blah, blah, blah. So I give a long answer about something. He goes to Ben, Paulie, and all I hear when we come back is, yeah, that's pretty good. No, I agree. You were eating in the middle of the interview.
Yeah, I had to squeeze.
What was it?
It was I took some of the pizza bread and wings from the round table because that was my only chance to eat all day. I did not have one other opportunity to eat. So yes,
like
I knew it.
out there?
I knew it. I ate during the interview. This was going to be a written interview. I figured I can take a couple of bites, but yes, I was eating.
But you said, what did you say? You just said, hang on, I got to take this, like a phone call?
Oh, he did that later.
So yes, that came
so
later.
hold on. Let me get to that point.
Or did you just like, no, like,
Hold
what
on,
did you do
after-
why did you step away for the first time to eat? Like,
Well, no,
I was answering.
I didn't step
I was
away.
answering
Woods
a
was
question.
answering a question, so
you just
I
turned
just
your camera
grabbed
off?
and I grabbed a wing.
His
Yeah,
camera
my
had been
was
off.
not on
Okay,
because I was
that's
driving.
what
yeah,
your
my
camera was on or off?
the whole time because I was driving, and Woods was answering his question. So I
that's it.
I grabbed a wing and
Yeah.
was chewing.
It's been good. Been to San Diego a long time, and it was great. And so I'm sitting on the other end. Radio's fun. It's a good business, and I was dead. I started to.
oh my God.
I started to die. So I had to ask, obviously, this morning. Number one, what was it?
Yeah, it was
I assumed wings.
couple of wings and a breadstick. That was my entire lunch, and I wasn't sure when I was going to eat it. Do you want me to starve all day? I mean, I go straight from there. I then have to drive straight to North County to do a bunch of interviews. I have no time for anything, so I've got to multitask, Woods, and if that means eating lunch
God.
while doing a Zoom interview while I am driving, then that's what's going to happen.
My favorite part is this. for good reason. I did it for you. I did it to you for you. The entire city, really, Ben, that saw your piece on Billy Ray, were massively impressed. I did not see one person that said, well, this sucked. You could have done better. Ben, I would like to commend you. You're the utmost professional.
Thank you.
Which is it's always a bit of a dig at me, and I understand that as well. Nice to have a real professional on the radio show.
It's like the one thing I've ever done that not only, I know Tier 1s are very complimentary. I've had viewers who've said nice things. It was my colleagues, competitors, and peers who reached out to me and
that's cool.
Really appreciated the piece on Billy Ray. I'd love to take credit. I think the fact that Billy Ray was just so well loved also colored everyone's impressions of the piece. It was his life.
You got your flowers. You don't have to keep promoting Billy Ray. You did it. You did a great job. Was my whole point. It was incredible. Like, it was so moving and touching. So all day long, I'm like seeing comments. Ben, the utmost professional. Ben, I've never seen anyone more professional than you. Ben, you're such a professional. And then we get on an interview with a media publication. And he's like, oh, yeah, sounds pretty good to me. And I'm like, he's having lunch on the drive. But the funniest part is this. So we're on the phone, and you guys got to remember, too. I know this man like the back of my hand. I can look at him and know, oh, no. I can hear one little thing in his voice. And I go, oh, no. He's getting anxious. And he goes, I could hear him. He goes, and he starts to like, hey, guys, you need to listen to me now. Yes, he's like, I heard him like the up. He goes, guys, real quick. I gotta take a phone call.
I had sent out a text to someone earlier, and I didn't know if they were going to call me back or not. And then we were doing the interview.
Phone rang.
And my phone rang.
Which is a nightmare.
And I would like to say 999 times out of 1,000, I would just get back to the person when I am done with my interview. But this was not a person that you put to voicemail.
Did your phone... I've had it happen where I've been on like a Zoom call on my phone, and if I get a phone call during that Zoom, it'll like freeze out the Zoom and pause it or whatever.
I think it continued the Zoom. It was just giving me the option to either green button or red button this person that I had reached out to. Had never, ever texted me back or called me back before in my life. And he was calling back, and I'm going, there's no way I cannot take this phone call, because if I don't, I will never hear from this person again. So I had to just go and jump in and go, guys, I have to take this phone call. This is not one that I can miss.
Right. So he does.
So I take the phone call. And
he gets off. I continue talking to the guy, and I'm laughing, dude, because I know when things, for all of us, I know when Paulie's overwhelmed. You guys know when I'm overwhelmed. I knew Ben was massively overwhelmed. I knew he had been overwhelmed to this point, and I knew that the shovels of dirt continued to pile upon him at the time. I knew it. I could feel it. I know him well, and I knew, oh no, this is good. 'Cause he's jamming that food in. He's getting it down. I have to do this. Just as an aside, please be careful, because that's how I almost died like 10 days ago.
Shoveling food
I was in a hurry. Yes, dude, like, it's not worth it. It's really not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So then he comes back. My favorite part. He goes, so I'm right in the middle of like answering a question. He goes, sorry guys, that was, he goes, when Dan Fouts calls, you don't leave him on hold.
Oh my
you
God.
don't decline him. And
I can hear him saying it.
Yes,
I can hear him saying that.
He goes, when Dan Fouts calls, you don't leave him on hold. And I go, okay. And in my mind, of course, I didn't say it, but I was like, yeah, if it's 1984 and Dan Fouts calls, you don't leave him on hold.
This is one of my childhood idols.
I know it is.
Dan Fouts. I mean, come on. The MFIC
It was so good.
himself.
MFIC is incredible.
The San Diego Chargers. And that is a true story. He used to wear a hat that said MFIC. That stood for Mother Bleeper
Trucker.
in Charge.
I need one. I need one, dude. I need it. I need shirts. It's so cool.
Well, I sure cannot wait for the hit piece on the Ben and Woods show that's going to be posted on Barrett Sports Media later, because of this unprofessional bastard over here who
Oh,
had to
Paulie,
leave an
we're not
interview
done.
like what, at least twice now.
Paul,
to
we're not
eat
done.
And then flex on everybody that sorry guys, Dan Fouts was calling me.
Number one, he didn't leave the interview to eat. He just ate through the interview. All right, so there's number one.
Fair
number
enough.
Number two, bails off the interview to get the Dan Fouts call. So then we come back, and he's got a couple more questions. And we've been going for a while at this point. We're talking about, I don't even know. I don't remember the question. It was, influences or whatever. And sure enough, man, Ben has reached his destination. And his camera is now back on, and he has stopped. And then I can see it, I look at him, and you guys, this just comes from spending an inordinate amount of time with someone and looking them in the eye a lot. And I looked at him, and I watched him in the car. He goes, looked out the window, down at the phone, out the window, down at the phone, out the window, and I go, here it comes. And then he hits us one more time with the guys, so I've got to run. He goes, and then he goes, now Dan Fouts is actually waiting for me, and you really don't want to make Dan Fouts wait for you, so I've got to go. And the guy's like, okay, no problem. I go, I'll be here, dude. I got nothing to do. I'm only on family vacation. I can handle it. It's no problem. My kids will be fine. They'll be fine without their dad.
So you
They're
got
used
saddled with the rest of
I had
the interview.
Which I
and by
thought
the
was
way-
going to have been done like 10 minutes ago. So I was already.
It was long.
I was already in the mind like we're way over the time that I thought I was committing for this interview to begin with.
It was so.
And I thought there can't be more than a question or two. How much longer did you go after I left?
I spent 1 full hour on the phone with that man.
Wow.
Damn.
So
One
you were, for
full
another like
hour.
30 minutes, you were
Yep.
still talking to him.
Were you
Yeah,
able
he had
to smooth things over after Ben
Yeah,
left?
I took care of it.
All
Yeah.
right, thank
Mhm.
you. Thank
Did
you.
you
I
eat
appreciate
anything for the? I mean, you probably got hungry during that second half hour of questioning.
No, I knew that I had Hanalei Bread Company waiting for me for the third day in a row, by the way.
That. Yeah, it was like 7 a.m. for you over there.
Yeah. By the time I finished, man, it was, listen, I don't care. I thought it was and that, when you were doing all of this, all I kept doing was be like, yes, foreplay. It was spectacular. So now that begs the question, how did the interview with Dan Fouts go?
It went great. Dan is he's a pro. Shared some memories of Billy Ray with me over Zoom from. I think he still lives up in Oregon. Beautiful cabin. I want to go live at Dan Fouts' house. It was that cool looking in the background when I got to talk to him. Shared some memories. Not only did he play with Billy Ray, but they used to call preseason Chargers games on television together. So he had a really good perspective of just kind of everything Billy Ray brought to the table. So that was a great interview. I also got to talk to John Carney, really cool dude, former Chargers kicker. Went up, chatted with Miles McPherson, who knew Billy Ray and Kimberly really well during their life. And I got to reconnect with my former colleague and Billy Ray's former colleague at Channel 10, Carol LeBeau, who retired 16 years ago and moved to West Virginia. And I have not seen her in several years.
Nice.
But she shared some of her memories of Billy Ray. She was there when Kimberly Hunt and Billy Ray first met at a
So
telethon.
cool.
And she said, I was looking at them and I go, yeah, they're about the same age. They're both really good looking. They're both unmarried. I wonder if there could be something there. And obviously there was, and they got married a couple of years later and had Savannah. And then he joined Channel 10, and she talked about this, and I haven't really ever discussed it with Kimberly, but she never acted like they were married when they were on the air together. She's so professional, but she said Billy Ray would get nervous still around her, and she would try not to be like lovey-dovey because she wanted to be a pro, but there was just this love that just existed in the newsroom at the time when they were working together, and I thought it was just so sweet to get all of her memories of the two of them together.
Honestly, it's the smallest thing, but I bet you would also recognize it. Whenever she would always refer to him as Bill. I could always feel the love behind Bill.
She's the only
because
she's the only person
one.
that ever I knew, and still does, she always calls him Bill.
He wasn't even really Billy. He was BR or Billy Ray.
For everybody, but to her, he was just Bill.
I love that.
And I always had to do a double for a while, like, who's she talking about? Who's Bill? It's like, no, Billy Ray. She called him Bill, still does call him Bill to this very day, but it's their thing, and it's always so very sweet.
Well, when I die, will you do a piece on me? I don't know if it's newsworthy. I just want a piece done for my
Yeah.
family. I would like you to be the one that does the piece. You did such a great job at it. I'm not planning on exploiting your death very much, at all after you go.
This
I'll
will
probably
be your
just
music.
Yeah, I'll probably just do I'll probably send out a tweet with some pictures of us, tell some stories. That's it. But
Can you do me a favor though?
yeah,
Don't
I'll
die
use
next week because I cannot do this again next week. So give me a little time
do
at
what
least.
exactly?
Die. Don't.
No.
I
Do what?
can't, I can't do another
okay.
piece right away. I need some
Okay,
time.
I thought you meant Okay, that makes sense. I will do my best. I mean, there's no promises there. No, it's promised to no one. I did, of course, you do think about that. Somebody passing away that well, you're here and you're playing in the water with your family, and again, always just a good reminder to live your life. Because it is incredibly, incredibly short. And it's funny, I had this conversation with Anna. I don't know if anybody saw the pictures of my kids. I did a little then and now, right? In front of the same tree at this restaurant we always go to. Had one 2 years ago, had them go out and recreate it as best that they could. And I took a picture of them. It was just 2 years ago. And I looked at it and it brought tears to my eyes because I went, well, that's two different kids altogether. And I can remember vividly, and you may too, Benny, when you were little, or when your kids were little, when your kids were acting up and it was really challenging to be a parent, really challenging, like the crying and the diapers and the nose Frida and the sickness and the preschool bringing home every ounce of crud they could. And it was just hard. It was really, really hard. And I remember all parents telling me, hey, man, don't worry. It's going to go fast. And I would literally say to them, all right, I'm ready for it to speed up because this phase right now is really, really hard. It's driving a wedge between my wife and me. I'm not getting any rest. They don't seem very happy at all. I don't really know what I'm doing. It needs to pick up steam a little bit. Well, let me tell you, it has now picked up steam and it is steaming ahead, and it is steaming ahead way, way, way too fast, way too fast. And it hit me on this trip. Just how hard and fast it's steaming. I mean, Bo's going to be in third grade in about 10 days. Taylor's going to be in kindergarten in about 10 days. And it hit me like a ton of bricks when Billy Ray died, and I sat out on the beach and I thought about him and I thought about all of the people, that have passed away that we've lost. And I went, man, okay, really, really good advice to slow down, breathe it in, look at this water, get in the water with your kids, have a great time. And just live life a little bit.
It's been a rough week between BR and our other friend Bill, our other Billy Burke, passing away within the last week or so. I mean, that's two people that not super close with in recent years, but that meant a lot. Played a significant role at some point in your life, and it's sad, man. And I've been definitely, even as a 35-year-old without kids, I've been reflecting on just kind of the fragility of life.
Yes, it hadn't really hit me until I took that picture of those two dudes and I went, okay, well, you look 14 now and you look 10, and it is, they're little human beings, and now it's a whole different phase. And so, but it was again, just to reiterate, Benny, it was such a touching tribute that you did. I thought you knocked it out of the park, and.
Well, thank you, Woods. And before you know it,
that's great.
Before you know it, you'll be taking your kids to Las Vegas for drinking and gambling, like I'm doing this weekend. With
guys,
my
hang
new
on.
21-year-old.
Hang on, Brian Lawrence is texting me right now, so I'm going to have to go ahead and leave.
He did text me. You don't leave B-Law on hold.
No, you do not leave Brian Lawrence on hold. He texted me last night. We'll talk about it when we talk some baseball, but I do want to hear more about Vegas and what it entails.
All right. Well, why don't we'll do that when we come back, and then we'll get to our Padres talk on a Friday. The 5-game winning streak is gone, unfortunately.
Yes, indeed.
It was not going to, it's not going to last.
Wasn't going to last forever.
But the Padres get shut down by Robbie Ray. We'll discuss that. It is a Friar Friday. We'll let you know what we have coming up on the program today, including our management report. All ahead, we are broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. Glad to have everybody with us on San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
But first, let me tell you about all of the incredible deals they've got going on right now down at Sedano Ford. Hey, we were just talking about it, man. Life is short, right? Life is short. If you've always wanted an incredible truck, car of your dreams, I would highly recommend going to check out what they've got down at Sedano Ford, because not only are they beautiful cars, they are beautiful prices going on right now. Again, pop down to the dealership in La Mesa. It's a beautiful dealership, incredible service center, but the deals are where it's at. $1 down, guys, and $401 a month. We'll get you the 2026 Ford Bronco Sport Big Bend, which is beautiful. You see it all over the roads. And if you need a truck like mine, man, the Ford F-150 STX 2026, beautiful, beautiful. Couldn't live without it now. Just $459 a month with, you guessed it, just $1 down. Also, make sure to ask about absolute 0% financing on select models paired with 0 payments for 90 days. That's 0 payments for 90 days. All of these deals are great. They will not last forever. So go down to SedanoFord.com. Let them get you in the truck or car of your dreams. Don't forget to tell them, though, when you go down, that's your old pal Woodsy from 97.3 The Fan sent you, please. It's SedanoFord.com. He just, here, I'll show you a little. Just a little.
Please don't.
Just a little bit. What hurts on you?
Nothing at all.
A little bit.
Not that now.
So let's say
whatever you're about to touch is the only thing.
Let's say
It's gonna hurt.
Right?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Pretend your knee hurts.
Pretend your knee.
It's going to in a second.
Right here.
Ah! Oh, that is not pleasant.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? This spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Ben and Woods brought to you by David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Yeah, after the show today, flying to Las Vegas, and we are meeting my son, Graham, who just turned 21 a couple of weeks ago, for a weekend of well-mannered enjoyment of Las Vegas's offerings.
No debauchery.
Like every 21-year-old wants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to have some fun. I'm trying to channel at least partly your thinking here. Not going to worry about what things cost. We're going to have some nice meals. Going to give them some gambling money.
Oh yeah.
We're going to go see a show. We're going to
What
have
show?
a nice time. We're going to the Docksiders, the yacht rock show at the Venetian. Looking forward to that. That was his choice.
Okay, I was going to say, because I know you, that's a win-win for you.
It's a
because you also-
win-win-win. I mean, yacht rock, and I get to spend time with my son.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a win-win. Anytime your kids are interested in things that you're into, Like my kids are interested in putt-putt, so I did not take them to putt-putt.
There will be no
yesterday, but my
putt-putt.
father-
In fact,
okay, yeah.
I don't think
hope
we'll go
not.
outside at all. I think it's supposed to be 115 degrees this weekend. So this is
My
going to be
Lord.
an inside trip to Las Vegas this weekend.
Are you gonna? And he's not bringing a friend or anything.
No, it's just the fam. Yeah.
Okay. And will you do? What will the night bring? Will he go out with his brother? Will
I think
he go
so.
out at all?
I think he and his brother have some plans to go out, hopefully. So
Are you going to
I might-
potentially? Yeah, okay. I was do
don't
that,
know.
but I think it's kind of. Well, here's the thing. I think it would be cool if you got like a table, even if it's for a couple of hours, right? Get a table, let him post up. Try to meet some ladies. Is he single now?
he is, I believe, single, although he doesn't always tell me these things anymore.
That's fair. That's fair. I think it would be cool to like get a table. You don't have to, but I mean, I'm just like get a table, have some cocktails there. Kind
Like
of
at a
look.
club, are we talking
Yeah.
about? Like
Like
bottle
a
service?
club. Yeah.
I just said that I'm not worried about cost, but now I'm worried about cost if you're bringing up things like bottle service at a table in Las Vegas.
It is expensive, but
I turned 21 once.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like these are the precious memories. Oh, so when do you leave?
After the show, heading to the airport, flying out early this afternoon.
Now, are you taking the gear?
I'm not taking the gear, Woods. I'll be back for Monday morning show. I might look a little worse for wear, but
What about for Channel 10? Are you taking the gear? Maybe do a
for
story.
my shift this afternoon. No, I I just took the day off. PTO. No
What?
working.
No. What does
no
now?
working
What does
on
that
the
mean?
road.
What does that mean? What does that mean when you? What does that mean when you say PTO?
That stands for paid time off. That's
Right,
It's
but
just a
you
day
still-
off.
But you still have. You're going. It's a vacation. You still have
Right.
to work on it though for Channel 10, right?
I do not. We have
You
different.
don't,
We
so
have a
that-
different vacation policy at
You get to sleep in?
EW Scripts compared to Odyssey. Yeah, I get
okay.
to sleep in. I don't have to get up at 2 a.m. to do a radio show tomorrow.
Okay.
I just get to enjoy my vacation.
So you don't have to take a camera with you, and
No.
you also don't have to get up and do like hits with the news
Correct.
while you're there. That's cool, man. I hope you enjoy your time with your family.
I actually have the opposite problem. Here, the two of us have trouble finding days to take off. And because of, obviously, being committed to the show and the audience and having the weird vacation policy here of take as much vacation as you want, but really
Right.
don't take any at all.
right.
At my other job, and because I've been there for so long,
By the
I
way,
have
you
to
can let it all out.
I have to
Adam's on
use it-
vacation
I have
today.
to
He's not
use it
listening.
or you lose it. Like I am at the point where if I don't use vacation days, I will start losing vacation days, and no one wants to ever lose vacation days because they didn't use them. So
I can't relate.
I need to use a couple before the end of the year, or I'm not going to be getting any more next year.
Okay. So I mean, I guess it just makes me question your level of commitment to your colleagues, like Tolly and Ava and all the people at the station. If you just go willy nilly and don't contribute anything at all while you're gone.
Yeah, I will say that, and something I want to give my bosses credit for, they are like sticklers about if you are off, you're not supposed to be bothered at all. Like if you're not working,
Wow.
if you're off, if it's your weekend, if you're on
Wow.
vacation, everything waits until you come back.
Sounds like a really
No
nice
texts,
place to work.
No
text even.
calls. No, hey, I know you're
Wow.
on vacation, but when you have a chance, can you get to it? None of that goes on at Channel
What
10.
a cool place that must be to work. Sounds awesome.
It is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, and then the purpose of a vacation is to restore, repair, refocus. Come back refreshed and exuberant and excited to take on the day. That's great. That's great. That's awesome for you. Very happy for you. Hope to get to be a part of one of those someday.
All right, here's what we've got coming up. Woods is working all the way until 8 a.m.
8.
our time this morning, so we'll get to some Padres talk. Our Padres crap up of last night's 4-1 loss to the San Francisco Giants. And then at 7 o'clock, we've moved up, take on Woods, since you're going to be gone the second half of the show. This is the last chance to qualify for the trip to the Fontainebleau Las Vegas, since this is the final day of the month of July. We're through another month in 2026 today. We just have our music category left, so early game might open the door for a different contestant to be with us coming up at 7 o'clock. Don't Do This is at 7:20. At 7:35, we'll be joined by our friend Darren Smith, SDFC broadcaster, as the team is coming off a win. They've got some new players. We can ask him about their new Tunisian star, Elias Achouri, as well as the other moves that the team made this week, and they will play at Minnesota tomorrow, looking for a second win in a row. And, of course, we'll talk about the Padres and the trade deadline with Darren coming up at 7:35. Then in our 8 o'clock hour, after Woods is gone, you're going to miss out on our SDCCU management report. It's not big bank banking, it's better, and it is a Skipper Friday, as Craig Stammen will join us today at 8:35. Stammen probably hoping he was coming in with a 6-game winning streak. Instead, he's going to have to settle for 5 out of the last 6. But we'll talk about his thoughts going into the trade deadline this weekend. Big games against the Giants coming up, and, of course, the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks that begins on Monday. Rival Report in our final hour. You got another pair of Guns N' Roses tickets to give away, MLB Reach Around, and looking ahead to the weekend's matchups at Petco Park. So lots to get to, Woods. And we will start with our Padres crap up and discuss last night's game, which didn't have really a lot going for it, unfortunately, for the San Diego Padres, coming up right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's your latest traffic update.
Getting into San Diego on the 5 northbound, traffic starting to slow down just a little bit, getting to Division Street, then it's clear to the 15. The 15 northbound and southbound looking good between the 805 and the 5. I'm Sam Tidrick, Odyssey San Diego traffic.
This report is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change.
Before your next summer road trip, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. With no appointment needed, it's an easy way to help keep your vehicle running at its best. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Coupons at SoCalOilChange.com.
It's a shame if they lose.
You got a problem.
How did things play out in yesterday's game?
Supremely stupid.
It's time for the Padres
Crap up.
with Ben and Woods. Brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Hey player, here's something to cheer you up. The rooftop pool's open, day passes are available, and the spa is calling your name. Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
We'll give it 16 minutes of salt, and then we'll, get back on the bump and figure it out.
This game has got to come to an end.
1-2 pitch, hit in the air to right field, straight away and deep. Fernando racing back. He's on the track at the wall. He will leap up, and he made the catch. Tatis robs a homer. He slipped and fell. Ramos will tag and score, and we're going to hang a star on a sac fly because Fernando Tatis Jr. just took away a 3-run homer from Rafael Devers. First pitch swinging, hits it in the air, deep to left field. This one is way back, and it's going to go. Yesterday against the Brewers, he hit his first 2 major league home runs. Now he's got 3. And it's a 2-run shot in the second inning. The Giants lead 3-0. Ray comes home, and the first pitch line the other way into right center and a base hit. France will come in to score, and Xander Bogaerts gets the Padres on the board. RBI single here in the second inning. It's 3-1. 1-1. Swung on, sent in the air to center field, not too deep. Merrill coming in. He'll make the catch. Devers tagging at third on his way. Jackson's throw to the plate, up the first base line. The tag not in time. A sac fly for Susac, who drives in his 3rd run of the night. And it's 4-1. 1-1. Ron runs, Bogart swings, sends it in the air, straightaway center, deep but playable. McRae is there. He will make the catch, and the ball game is over. Padres cannot get the bats going tonight against Robbie Ray and the Giants bullpen, and the 5-game winning streak is over as the Giants come to town and take game 1 of this 4-game series, 4-1.
We only gave up 4 runs, I think. On most nights, we'll take 3 or 4 runs and try to outscore the other team. Today, Robbie Ray threw a really good game against us, and we weren't able to score any runs off of him.
With the offense tonight pretty quiet, what would you attribute that to? Is it Robbie Ray and the Giants pitchers, or was it?
Yeah, he's a good pitcher. He's having a good season. He wasn't like sharp tonight. He was definitely erratic. It was kind of that effectively wild thing that we talk about in baseball that makes it tough to hit. Felt like we were in a lot of good counts for a lot of the night, and then he just made pitches to get himself out of it, and we weren't able to really finish off the start of good at-bats that we had, and snuck his way out of it and made some good pitches when we had runners in scoring position, humped up a little bit, and we got some strikeouts.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Craig Stammen's assessment. Padres kept getting in good counts, laying off pitches when Robbie Ray was missing, getting ahead 2-0, 3-0, 3-1, and I'm going, okay, here we go. Time to do some damage.
Yeah.
And then they just didn't do any damage last night against Robbie Ray. Could not quite figure out that guy who is having a really good season. He got his 10th win. I think something like he's given up 1 run or less in 7 of his last 8 starts, I think they said last night. So not unusual that Robbie Ray pitches well, but it did deflate the balloon of momentum that the Padres had going earlier this week in the first game of the 4-game series.
Yeah, and I did. I mentioned I did get a text from B-Law last night, Brian Lawrence. It was right around, probably about an hour into the game. And he said, I thought of you guys watching Robbie Ray pitch because I heard you guys talking about velocity and how you need it. He said with him, it's more about perceived velocity. His 93 looked 100. I said, dude, yeah, he mixes it up well, hides the ball really well. He threw that 92 by Manny in the first inning, and it looked like a seed. I mean, it looked like a bullet. And he said the opposite is true as well. Sometimes 98 can look like 90. And I said, yeah, not to me, but yes, absolutely. And Robbie Ray moves it pretty well. Like Craig said, he was a little erratic, but yeah, man, it was boring game. I mean, it's okay to say it. It was a boring game. Watching J.P. Sears pitch is boring. When Manny's not going well, again, got himself in great counts and punched out 3 times after that. So just not a lot going on offensively. Nice play by Toddy. Maybe the only guy on the planet that can have his knee buckle and he still looks cool. You know, if I'm walking down the street today and my knee buckles and I fall down, I'm not going to look cool at all. Ben, you're not going to look cool. Paul, you will not look cool. Fernando Tatis Jr.'s knee buckled when he hit the ground and went to turn. And, of course, he lands flat on his back whilst throwing a ball to Jackson Merrill in midair. And it's like, God dang, dude, is there anything you do that doesn't look great? It was boring. It was a boring game, kind of uninspiring. They had... didn't get a lot going. I think they were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. You had the one. We left 6 on, and we were 1 for 4. Just nothing really cranking last night for the boys. Looked a little flat, I guess.
It wasn't a great night when your best highlight also doubles as the play that put the other team ahead for good.
Correct.
On a sacrifice fly. Like, amazing catch, highlight worthy. Not his most spectacular robbery of a home run, but it's the second time it's done at Rafael Devers. But it was how far and how fast he had to run to get there to make it look almost routine for Fernando Tatis Jr. Yeah. I mean, he ran like 90 feet or something to get there in time to make that catch, which was very cool. But, of course, it put the Padres behind 1-0. J.P. Sears was not that sharp, although Daniel Susac, hot, 3 home runs in 2 games, did get the one big hit of the game, came in the top of the second inning. Padres answered right back in the bottom of the second. But even that inning had its disappointment. You get the first couple on, then Campy grounds into the double play. That kind of closes the gates on the big inning. Xander Bogaerts did come through with the 1 RBI single. That was your 1 hit with runners in scoring position. But that was it after that. Now, I do think that ultimately pitching chaos still kind of worked, even though J.P. Sears didn't have it as well, at least as he has pitched in some of his recent starts. The fact that you had Randy Vasquez come in and go 4 2/3 scoreless innings to finish the game is what you are looking for. You had every opportunity to come back and win that game. Your offense didn't do it, but your pitching staff gave you that chance. If they had put together one rally at any point, that could have been a very different situation in the 8th and the 9th inning. If it's 4-3, 4-2, whatever.
Yeah, kept them in it.
That's not the worst outcome for pitching chaos. Wasn't obviously as good as the day before when they held the Colorado Rockies to 1 run, but if you get 4 runs allowed with those pitchers that you're throwing out there and not using any of your high leverage guys, that's got to be considered kind of a win for the San Diego Padres at this point. Not in the win-loss column, but in terms of what you're hoping to get out of your pitching staff.
Well, no question. And I think, I think our boy Tommy on Twitter last night said it, hey, look, if you get a lead, that's a whole different plan that you have. And you can get really, really aggressive if you've got a 2-run lead in the 4th inning. You can get aggressive, go after that win, try to squash any rallies that they put together with your high leverage arms. Night like last night, I thought, man, when Sears gave up, well, first of all, I thought he gave up a 3-run homer, and Toddy saved us there. Then when he actually gave up the homer, I thought, all right, man, 3 runs, not insurmountable, but you need to stand out there and wear it at this point. And he actually wasn't the one that wore it a ton. He went 3 2/3, but Randy coming in, pitched really well, man. Just gave up 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. But hung a 0 for 4 2/3 innings. That's a dream. That's great, and that maybe gives him a little confidence. Maybe finds a role for him down there as he tries to figure out what bumped him out of the rotation. So, somebody made the point on Twitter too, and I thought it was a decent one. You're still throwing Griffin Canning out there, who pitched okay yesterday, and you're still throwing J.P. Sears out there, but Randy's the one that gets moved to the bullpen. Like it is. I think at this point, I did wonder why they didn't do an opener yesterday, Benny. But they decided to go with Sears and kind of bit him. But it wasn't terrible, right? It wasn't horrible. He's not a fun watch, but it was not a terrible.
Oh, he had like multiple base runners every single inning. It was
high
stressful.
stress. Yeah, it was high stress.
But you are going with an opener today. It was announced late after the game last night. Sammy Levitt reported that Bradley Rodriguez will start today's game. Herman Marquez would presumably be in line to pitch, some innings. Last time it was only a couple. Who knows what he's in line for today. But one of the things I did want to ask Craig Stammen when we have him on later today is, as they're doing this pitching chaos, and it could change after the trade deadline depending on if they add starters, how tempting is it when you see Randy go 4 2/3 shutout innings to go, maybe we just need Randy back in the starting rotation. If he can do that, then maybe he can do 6 innings and 1 run. And, that was what Randy was doing so well for you early in the season, and then he kind of fell off the map and spent some time on the injured list. But if he can come back and be early season Randy again, that changes things quite a bit for the Padres once again. But how do you evaluate that? Because if he's working well in this bullpen hybrid role, you don't want to mess with that at the same time necessarily. So how do they decide when a guy's going well enough that we want to put him back maybe in the starting rotation rather than have him as this hybrid mix out of the bullpen?
Well, and I think, too, they talked about it on the broadcast last night. Everybody has bought into this, which is half the battle in baseball, is getting guys to buy into, hey, we're going to need you to do something a little bit different. And, at this point, if it's working right now after, one outing for Randy Vasquez of hanging some zeros, I don't think you mess with it because you do need those innings covered at some point because your plan may not work. Bradley could give up 4 in the first, and now you need somebody to cover innings at the back. And, you're going to need those guys in this pitching chaos scenario that you're employing.
We're going to play an early game of Take on Woods when we come back. Music category is all that's left, but if you want to call us, you can. 833-288-0973. Hour number 2. Ben and Woods coming up next on 97.3 The Fan. Before we get to Take on Woods, a little early game today, give you some trade deadline news. New report from The Athletic. This is Ken Rosenthal, Will Salmon, and Katie Wu reporting today with a few news and notes, including one entitled Yankees Padres Possibilities. Mason Miller seems increasingly likely to stay in San Diego, they mean. Still, the best way for the Padres to acquire a desperately needed controllable starter is trading from the strength of their bullpen. Lefty Adrian Morejon, a potential free agent, might be the best reliever traded if Miller stays put. Lefty Wandy Peralta, who's under contract through 2027 but can opt out after this season, might be another possibility. The New York Yankees, whose rotation depth could enable them to move righty Will Warren or lefty Ryan Weathers, remain one potential match.
Okay.
So, still keeping the door open on using bullpen depth to try to acquire starting pitching. I didn't foresee the possibility of a reunion with Ryan Weathers very quickly with the San Diego Padres, but
you said trade Morejon for
Weathers.
Yeah, for Ryan Weathers, I'm good. I'm good on it.
I think I'll take my chances.
I think I'd take my. I mean, I know we need innings and whatnot and starters, but holy smokes, man! I that one doesn't make a lot of sense to me. They threw some out there yesterday that didn't make much sense at all. And you know, the trade deadline, as you know, we do this every year where we kind of parse it apart and figure out what we think is going to happen and who's going to buy and who's going to sell. Were you guys surprised at all that the Twins jumped into the fray early and acquired lefty reliever A.J. Minter in a deal with the New York Mets yesterday? And A.J. Minter, I think it was Eno that tweeted, or Passam, one of the two, said one of the top three arms there. So one is already off the board in A.J. Minter. And the Minnesota Twins going after him and to help bolster their bullpen. Don't know what the return was. Did not see that yet, Benny, but they're in the mix, I guess.
Yeah, and they just had a walk-off grand slam yesterday from Cody Clemens. So
insane.
They're just outside, I believe, the wild card hunt and still in the division race as well. So it sounds like the Twins definitely buying, because what was it, about 3 weeks ago, they were talking about selling Joe Ryan and other potential pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Like every team other than, the Mets and the Rockies and the Giants and the Royals and the Angels seems to still be in it. So there's very few stores that are open. Like everyone else is shopping around like they're walking around the mall, and all the stores are closed except for a couple of stores, and they only have limited goods. If they were good team, they're not good teams, so they don't have that many good players to be traded. So it is a weird trade deadline that's coming up this weekend. Just quickly about Wandy. He had such a good first 3 months of the season. He has struggled this month. I think someone pointed out in our YouTube chat, his ERA in July is 10. It seems like he gives up a run just about every time out, but he was really sharp. I mean, getting his ground balls. We remember, he was solid early this season. Then he went on the bereavement list, came back, hasn't quite been the same. Someone in the chat also said maybe just kind of feeling that down after his pops passed away, or it could be some arm fatigue. I don't know how much interest there is right now in Wandy. Are people buying early season Wandy, or are they afraid and they go, I don't want current Wandy if that's what he's going to be like for the rest of the season?
Well, I think, anytime you're a GM and pitching coach, whatever, and you see a guy that can induce ground balls with a 96, 97 mile an hour fastball from the left side, and has done it, he's done it for a while. This isn't new. I think that would be of interest to someone. And yeah, trading from your strength is always the right move. I said last week, when the Padres were scuffling, Ty France has been a revelation for this team. And I don't know what exactly he would fetch as a short-term rental. I do believe he's going to be a free agent after this year, Ben. Is that right? And I said, hey, guys, sell high for once. This isn't exactly selling high on Wandy Peralta. This is kind of selling, in the middle. You're kind of selling in the middle, maybe a change of scenery type move. I don't know, but it is a position of strength for you, your bullpen, his 10 ERA in July notwithstanding.
And also remember, if the Padres do make one or two moves, even if they trade minor league prospects, Cash Mayfield, whatever, and pick up a rental starter, they're still going to need to make room on their roster. They don't have a lot of optionable players. So they may have to trade a couple of bullpen guys just to get the new players onto their team. Otherwise, they have to give them away for nothing, which would make no sense at all. So you may need to trade a Wandy or someone like that just to clear a roster spot so you can bring a new player onto your team that you hope helps you at the end of the season. That's the numbers game that A.J. Preller also has to consider. All of our trade coverage on 97.3 The Fan, the deadline coverage, is presented by City Cruises Live. Experiences done different, and we'll, of course, be monitoring closely what happens the rest of the day through the weekend. And then on Monday, we'll have Kyle Glazier in for our show, and then he'll be on for our special trade deadline coverage all day long as the moves come in ahead of the 3 o'clock trade deadline. Right now, though, since Woods is going to be out a little bit early, let's advance our final game of the month. It is time to take on Woods. Take on Woods, brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. And we got Dave, I believe, today. Dave, good morning. How are you?
Morning, guys. How we doing?
We're good. So you can be our last qualifier this month. We are trying to get people into the drawing for the trip to Las Vegas, the 2-night stay at the Fontainebleau, and a $150 food and beverage credit. Check out their Oasis Pool Deck 6-acre experience. Book your stay at Fontainebleau. LasVegas.com. Now, you have no choices today. All we have left is our music category. Always makes it a little tougher against Woods, but you never know. The category today, Dave, is Say Anything. We have 5 song titles that all include the word say. You'll have 60 seconds to get as many as you can. If you don't know one, you can pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left at the end. First question is the 2-second song. Paulie will play you the short clip. You need to give me that song title, includes the word say, and the artist to score the point. Dave, are you ready to play?
Let's do this.
All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock, Paulie. Again, the category in music is Say Anything. Dave, your time begins when Paulie plays our 2-second song. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
Oh, no idea. Pass.
Destiny's Child hit number 1 in 1999 with which song that features a female protagonist calling her boyfriend who she suspects of cheating on her?
Say my name.
Correct. A bottle of Heineken in the fridge inspired Rivers Cuomo to write which Weezer hit about alcoholism ending his parents' marriage?
Say It Ain't So.
Correct. Dionne Warwick and Aretha Franklin had top 10 hits in consecutive years in the late 60s with which Burt Bacharach written song about a woman's concern for her man fighting in the Vietnam War?
Say a Little Prayer.
Correct. Which 1985 ballad hit number 1 on the Billboard charts for Lionel Richie after it appeared in the movie White Nights?
Say You, Say Me.
Correct. Let's go back to the 2-second song for the sweep. Oh, not bad. Well done, Dave. 4 out of 5. The only one you didn't get was Say You Love Me by Fleetwood Mac. Our 2-second song. That was a tough one. You just got a little bit of the piano there at the beginning. I think a very well-played game and a chance to win. Woods, I see him on his phone, which means he is waiting for the text. He gets it, and he is returning to his microphone now. Yeah, that's what you do on radio. You describe what you see. All right, Dave's score is locked in, Woods. You got a music category to wrap up the month. You're going in blind. Let's put 60 seconds back on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays our music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Dave.
Fleetwood Mac. I'll come back to it.
Destiny's Child hit number 1 in 1999 with which song that features a female protagonist calling her boyfriend who she suspects of cheating on her?
Pass.
A bottle of Heineken in the fridge inspired Rivers Cuomo to write which Weezer hit about alcoholism ending his parents' marriage?
Oh, God. What's the category? Pass.
Dionne Warwick and Aretha Franklin had top 10 hits in consecutive years in the late 60s with which Burt Bacharach written song about a woman's concern for her man fighting in the Vietnam War?
Pass.
Which 1985 ballad hit number 1 on the Billboard charts for Lionel Richie after it appeared in the movie White Nights?
Truly.
Wow. Back to the song?
Don't Stop by
No.
No.
Destiny's Child hit number 1. It doesn't matter. You have lost. You
killed
have
me.
been shut out.
Skunked.
4-0 in a music category. I don't know that that's ever happened.
Give me the category.
The category was Say Anything.
Okay,
So
Say That You Love Me.
was Say You Love Me.
All right.
Destiny's Child is Say My Name.
Say My Name.
Weezer is
It's
Say It Ain't So.
Say It Ain't So.
Dionne Warwick, Aretha Franklin is I Say a Little Prayer, and Lionel Richie is Say You.
Say
Me.
Say You, Say Me.
Wow, nicely done, Dave. You have qualified. Another qualifier. We got a good mix for our grand prize this month. Tier 1s did a nice job. Tomatoes in the chat for Woods.
Oh, getting me.
Sorry, you're on vacation. I mean,
Am I?
your
Am I on
head's not in the
vacation?
game.
Yeah.
You're both on
Yeah, I should,
vacation and you're not on vacation at the same time.
I should take a vacation to clear my head. Exactly. Thank you.
You know
That's
what?
right.
Take the next 2 days off. That's on us.
I will. I'm
That
going
is-
to.
That
I'm
is
going to.
complete. That is on us.
I'm going
Just
to.
let loose.
And are you going
Let
to be
it
here
rip.
on Monday? Like, can we depend on you to be here or not? Like, I
We'll
have
see.
no idea.
We'll talk to the fine people at Turtle Bay and see if they have a little room for me.
So it sounds like we
every
can't
day.
depend on you.
No,
All
you
right,
cannot depend on me.
Don't forget, coming up later this hour, we'll be joined by Darren Smith, talk Padres and SDFC. And then next hour, our SDCCU management report. It's not big bank banking, it's better. The skipper of the San Diego Padres, Craig Stammen, will join us at 8:35. Coming up next, though, we will have Don't Do This, including an update on one of yesterday's odd baseball injury stories. We have more details on that one, Woods?
What?
Never mind. All right.
All
So
right.
we will take a quick time out and come back. Woods, get your head right on a Friday with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, it had been probably a few years since I had really looked at my retirement accounts. And hell, I got set up with Trajan Wealth a little bit early this year, and I want Tier 1s to look into this as well because retirement is not that far away. No matter what your age is, it's never too early to start thinking about setting aside money and making it grow. And that's where Trajan Wealth comes in, TRAJANwealth.com. Their fiduciary advisors work with you to review your current investments and retirement strategy, helping identify risks, inefficiencies, or opportunities you may be missing. I didn't even really have much of a strategy, but they helped me put one together, which was nice, especially with today's unpredictable market. Sometimes you just need a starting point here to make some smart adjustments. Trajan Wealth has offices, Liberty Station, Carlsbad, and Escondido, and they work with people who want clarity instead of guesswork. It's been a while. If it has been a while since you reviewed your plan, now is a great time. You can just start by calling 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 1-855-TRAJAN-1, or just go online and check everything out on their website at TRAJANwealth.com. Get your retirement in order. Trajan Wealth, plan smarter, dream bigger. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth LLC. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Actual client, paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Ben and Woods, brought to you by David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. And Woods, I will let you get started today on Don't Do This with an update on a former, maybe current A.J. Preller target.
Oh, my gosh, man. I sure hope not. The nightmare blunt rotation of Jarren Duran and Wilson Contreras play together in Boston, and kind of got into it a little bit last night. Jarren Duran hit like a 200-footer out to left fielder Tyler Soderstrom in the A's-Red Sox game. Contreras was on third base. Soderstrom has a cannon. I think he's 82, 83 percentile. And it was a lazy fly ball to left, and Contreras is on third, and he didn't tag. And Jarren Duran decided at that point, I'm going to not only show up my third base coach, my teammate, look like an idiot in front of my whole team. Hands were up, screaming, run, run, what are you doing? What the F? I mean, just as bad of a look in a series of bad looks for a guy that you can have. Here's the audio.
Soderstrom coming on, and not deep enough.
He would have been hosed.
He would have been out by a mile.
Yeah, by 20 feet. So he's chirping at third base, waving his hands.
That man again here on the stereo.
Jarren kind of motioning back toward third there.
Then screams, run, from the dugout.
That was too shallow.
Dude wants his RBI really badly.
Apparently.
And not the 0 for 1.
Well, and yeah, the 0 for 1, and I think his batting average is about 176 right now, 175 maybe. So he wanted that 0 for 0 in that at bat right there with an RBI, Benny, and not at the cost of getting your teammate thrown out by literally probably 30 feet. And then again, it's Wilson Contreras on third. And just a terrible look. And even worse, man, they go to the manager, the interim manager, Chad Tracy, after. They ask him about it. He goes, no, he didn't yell or anything. Like, what? We all saw it. No, you didn't. It didn't happen. Just something we work on. And we all saw him screaming, arms up by his shoulders, going, run, what the F? And whether it was at Wilson or whether it was at the third base coach, it's just the he's just a head case.
Well, we all know baseball. When you have bad karma like that, it comes back to haunt your team. It was a 3-3 game at the time, and the Boston Red Sox ended up getting back-to-back homers to win it in the 8th by Wilyer Abreu and Wilson Contreras to win yet again. That team cannot lose. Doesn't matter. They cannot lose. Doesn't matter what Jarren Duran is doing. They cannot lose right now. They are unbelievably hot. And now solidifying their playoff positioning in the American League, like with each passing day. They're now like starting to chase down the Yankees and the Rays in the American League East there. So red hot. All right, update for you on the story from yesterday about Harrison Bader of the San Francisco Giants, who has been out with plantar fasciitis since May. But we had the report that he aggravated the injury with some sort of scooter accident. Well, what we know now, based on some reporting in San Francisco, that Harrison Bader apparently crashed into a fire truck. The San Francisco Fire Department confirmed that just before 2 a.m. on Sunday at the corner of Greenwich and Fillmore Streets in the city's Cow Hollow neighborhood, that a scooter crashed into a fire truck. Now, fire department didn't say who was at fault, but sources confirmed to KTVU it was Bader riding the scooter. Police department is investigating the crash. They said they observed the person on the scooter receiving medical assistance. They were taken to a local hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. And apparently this isn't Bader's. Did we have this yesterday? That he was suspended 19 games during his sophomore year at the University of Florida after a late-night scooter crash. So this has become a bit of a habit for Harrison Bader.
Crash into a fire truck.
They're big and red.
I'm assuming he had a few drinks maybe at 2 a.m.
Yeah, you got it.
But I have to imagine if I took an e-bike or a scooter or whatever to get home after some drinks, I'd be more nervous about kind of getting wobbly, just going normally down the street. I don't know that I would run into a big giant fire truck though.
They're hard to miss.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah, went out and had a few and. Listen, can they get you for a DUI on one of those things?
I don't know.
So.
I don't know.
They can get you on a bike.
Anytime you're doing something dangerous under the influence, I think they can get you for something.
But I don't know. Couldn't you be dangerous on a skateboard or something?
Yeah.
Isn't that you being more responsible than driving?
It is.
It is.
I don't know.
I think there's levels to this.
I genuinely don't know what the rules are on that. Bicycles?
Well,
does it have to have an engine or a motor?
I mean, you're pretty pissed if you're a Giants fan and your team's in it. You're real pissed because he was close to coming back from the IL, and now maybe a drunken accident or something. That's one of those that they revisit every year as do you remember when he took his boot off and fell and cracked his rib? I think that was Wade Boggs that did that. I mean, the dumb drunken accidents have happened throughout baseball, and the Giants aren't going anywhere this year. But really, really, really interesting article about Harrison Bader.
YouTube chat does confirm you can get a DUI on a bicycle. It does not need a motor, so I'd assume a scooter as well would apply.
Well, scooters have motors.
And they do have motors, too.
Yeah. Most of the ones that he was probably riding does. I doubt very much he was doing a razor push scooter, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Old wooden ones that he created himself with a milk crate.
Milk crate on the front.
All his buddies on the team have the electric ones going 15 miles per hour, and he's just pedaling. Hey, wait up, guys!
That's the one my dad. That's the one my dad would have gotten me if electric scooters were popular. I would have had the milk crate with roller skate wheels on it. That he didn't build, by the way. It would
just a 2x4 on some
2x4 with a milk crate on the front, and hey guys, I came to tear it up with you guys this summer. Let's do some doo-doo this.
DD mega doo-doo.
Well, I hope this man, I'd love to continue the trend of just having Ethan Salas as our do this every single game he plays in AAA. Was called up a couple of days ago, had a really nice debut, and then continued it last night, Benny, with a couple more doubles throughout another runner last night. So far, Ethan Salas in the PCL is hitting .625 with a 700 OBP. His slug is 1250. His OPS is 1950 right now. He is hitting, he's had 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 singles since he's gotten there. So the base runner he threw out too was just, the guy had no shot. It was unbelievable. So Ethan Salas, late September call up, you never know. You keep mashing like this and acquitting yourself with the staff and everything else. Why not at this point? Why not?
I have a few people in my Twitter stream who seem to post videos every time Ethan Salas does something. At Clark, Too Much Morton's, maybe 1 or 2 others. It feels like I'm constantly inundated with just line drives off the bat, runners getting thrown out at second base. Ethan Salas, and if you weren't with us yesterday when Eno Saris joined us with Smart Baseball, he laid on us a pretty amazing stat. He said Ethan Salas is already at like a 125 OPS plus in the minor leagues, but the way they do that for prospects, that every year you are younger than the league average in your minor leagues, add like 15 to 20 points to that. So because Ethan Salas is only 20, he was in AA, now he's in AAA, says that's really equivalent to like a 160 to 170 OPS plus. So Ethan Salas has legitimately turned back into an elite prospect this year. Some think even more elite than Leo Dallas DeVries, which, then justifies after the fact AJ's decision to keep Salas and trade DeVries for Mason Miller last year.
Yeah, that's the hope is that we get to this point next week and he's still a San Diego Padre, and I suspect that he will be.
And that is Don't and Do This for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
When we come back, we will chat with our buddy Darren Smith. Plenty of SDFC news this last week, including a new designated player added to the lineup. Also have a game coming up tomorrow against Minnesota United, and we will discuss the Padres and trade rumors and the deadline. All coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
But first, as I finish the last remaining water from my big jug that I got here. It's been great. I do. It's been Hawaiian alkaline water. I'm, ready to get back to San Diego at some point and fill up my jug with my ice cold, delicious Eco Water. Eco Water SoCal. They are in a league of their own. Their customer service is through the roof. Legendary. In fact, their products are the gold standard. They'll take the time to customize the system perfectly for your home, and their professional installation team is second to none. They came out a few years ago, got it done. I have never had a problem with it. Not one single issue with it. They treat your family and your friends like their own. Don't gamble with the fly-by-night operations. Invest in the master craftsmen who've been doing this right for a century. Call 760-350-3338, 760-350-3338, or visit ecowatersocal.com. Let them know that I sent you there, please. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. They've been keeping it soft since 1925. It is ecowatersocal.com. Do it today. He just, here, I'll show you a little. Just a little.
Please don't.
Just a little bit. What hurts on you?
Nothing at all.
A little bit.
Nothing. Now,
So let's say
whatever you're about to touch is the only thing.
Let's say
It's going to hurt.
Right?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Pretend your knee hurts.
Pretend your knee hurts.
It's going to in a second.
Right here.
Oh, that is not pleasant.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Or the most reliable Wi-Fi. One price, 5 years guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that. And just did see the Mets officially announce the return. You mentioned the A.J. Minter to the Twins trade earlier, Woods. They are getting back infielders Billy Amick and Bruin Agbayani, who is, in fact, the son of former Met Benny Agbayani. So I saw a picture of him. Looks just like his dad.
Dad was he was thick, man.
He was
strong.
thick. Yeah.
Man, that dude was built.
Wonder how many moves we're going to see like early before the deadline on Monday, or if it's going to wait. I get the sense that most of the big moves may wait until Monday because you still have so many teams that are so close to in it that even the results of the next 3 games could impact a lot of decisions as to what direction teams are headed, including the San Diego Padres. I mean, we're pretty much all in agreement that they are mostly buyers at the deadline, but they lost last night. If they lost, 2 out of the next 3 or the next 3 games to the Giants, how much does that change things in your mind, Woods? They did not lose any ground in the race yesterday, at least. All the teams that played that were in the wild card race at least lost. Yesterday, they did drop a half a game to the Diamondbacks and Phillies, who are both idle. So they're still the first team out. They're still 2 games out of a playoff spot right now, but it wasn't a crushing defeat yesterday in terms of where they are in the standings. But, you can make a lot of change. Padres passed 4 teams in 5 days. They could also fall behind 4 teams in like 2 or 3 days based on what we've seen, over the last week or so.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. You look at the team across the way that we're playing this week, and Bob Melvin did the same thing when they were here, and he was our manager. He looked across the dugout and got misty-eyed for the San Francisco Giants, but they've got a lot of pieces that people are interested in. They were talking about it on the broadcast last night. Elliot Ramos, they got Luis Ariz, of course, that could be moved. They've got Robbie Ray that could and should be moved. There's going to be guys available. What are you willing to give up for guys of that caliber? I mean, listen, there's really not a move that the San Diego Padres could make that we probably don't need, right? At some point, you could probably upgrade in almost every position, give or take. But, you do need a left-handed bat off the bench. Gavin Sheets is just scuffling as badly as I've seen him scuffle since he's been here. Last night I really thought with that last pitcher, Ben, that was just kind of challenging guys with that heater, and the sweeper wasn't very good. I thought, all right, man, this is a guy Gavin Sheets can get back on track against. Of course, he punched out, had a good AB, fouled some pitches off. You're going to need a left-handed bat for this team. You're going to need a couple of starting pitchers. I don't know if they've got the capital or the stomach, I guess, to pull it off right now in the position that they're in. So, you need to win ball games. You need to win today's game, and you need to win tomorrow's game, and you need to win the next day's game. You really got to show these guys, hey, man, we're worth it. We're fighting. Not sure of any type of sustained run, but if it's playoffs that you seek, you've got some work to do in the next 5 days.
We are having trouble connecting with Darren right now. I guess he's on the East Coast, so we'll keep trying, and we'll keep you updated. Hopefully we get a chance to chat with D. Smith at some point later this morning. I think one of the interesting topics, again, at the trade deadline is also who are those slightly lower-level starting pitchers that might be available. I saw a column from David Schoenfield this morning in ESPN. He predicted where each of the top 10 overall trade targets would land. I don't think it's going to shock either one of you when they don't have the Padres landing any of them. He guessed Tarek Skubal not to the Dodgers, but to the Atlanta Braves. Okay. He has the Dodgers landing Reed Detmers from the Angels. He has the Mets sending Freddie Peralta back to the Brewers. He has the Phillies landing Kevin Gossman from the Blue Jays. He has the Rays getting Luis Ariz from the Giants.
See that.
The Marlins trading Liam Hicks to the Yankees. He says the Mets could trade Clay Holmes to the Cubs. Tigers send Gleyber Torres to the Red Sox. Blue Jays trade Dalton Varsho to the Diamondbacks. And the Mariners trade Emerson Hancock to the St. Louis Cardinals. So no Padre mentioned on either side of that in the guessing. I was just guessing and projections. But I also saw reports that the Tigers had pulled Casey Mize from his scheduled start, which is an indication to a lot of people that he is very much on the market. Don't want him to get injured or something right before the trade deadline. So it's possible beyond Tarek Skubal, the Tigers could be trading other starters. Are the Padres interested? If they can't meet an asking price for Tarek Skubal, which I don't think they can, is Casey Mize someone you'd be interested in? I mean, he throws more into the mix as like a 3-4 guy in my mind. Certainly not a top-of-the-rotation starter, but it could still be an upgrade for the San Diego Padres with what they're currently facing at the back end of their rotation.
I mean, Ben Higgins might be an upgrade, in the back of their rotation. He would be, right now, he's a 2.9 WAR player with a 2.70 ERA. His whip is less than 1. 85 Ks in 86 innings. Yeah, I mean, a guy that can go out and get you outs, which is exactly what you need. They're kind of desperate right now in Detroit on what to do, but I think we should all brace ourselves for the Jeff Passan bomb that will inevitably drop. Reports came out yesterday, and again, who knows? But, well-established media members talking about how, Tarek Skubal, number one, he'd prefer to finish the season in Detroit. Okay, so that was the first one. But when he does hit free agency, Los Angeles is his destination of choice. And, obviously they're going to be able to throw the most money at him. And, I saw Dodger fans kind of defending it yesterday, and it does make sense, and I have heard that it's true. It's a good organization. They treat their players well. They treat players' families well. It's a place that people want to come because, well, guess what? They're going to pay me the most. They're going to treat me the best, and we're going to be in it, probably win the World Series. I mean, everybody on Twitter that's saying like, oh, man, ring chaser, ring. It's the Kevin Durant thing. Like, had to chase a ring. I don't know. I mean, there are guys that are built different that will look at that and say, no. I want to be a part of the team that beats the Dodgers. Okay, that's cool. Those guys are few and far between these days. These guys want to get paid. They want to be taken care of. They want to be treated well. They want first-class accommodation, and they want to win a World Series. LA can provide all that right now.
Think about what happens if the Dodgers do land Tarek Skubal. They have built the best record in baseball, largely on the backs of pitchers who probably have no chance of seeing a postseason start for their team. Emmett Sheehan, Justin Wroblewski, Roki Sasaki, Eric Lauer. They've all pitched, dozens of starts now for the Dodgers this year. And there's a good chance if they have Skubal, Yamamoto, Snell, Glasnow, Ohtani, they already have too many starters for a playoff.
It's like a full line change.
They already have too many starters for a playoff series. There's no chance that any of the guys that have helped them, again, build the best record in baseball are even going to sniff the postseason once they get to October. They can upgrade at every single starting spot from a team that is already, again, the best record in baseball.
And you don't need 5 starters in the playoffs. You need like
No.
3, so they can just combine. You know what I mean? Like they can just bring in Glass now or whatever in the 5th inning if they need to. It's just,
you
it's
can
absurd.
piggyback. I saw Blake Snell he threw a rehab assignment last night, and I think he was like 4 innings, 9 strikeouts. So he's ready to go. Probably been ready to go for a while. But yeah, man, they're going to be a force in October. We talked to Eno Saris. He said, the offense scares me a little bit. Edwin Diaz did not look sharp in his return last night. Not from cockfighting suspension, by the way, just from injury. There were no suspension for cockfighting whatsoever.
So yes, the bullpen could be a concern. I mean, it was also a concern 2 years ago when it absolutely dominated in the postseason. But how much of the bullpen do you need? As Paulie just said, you can do piggyback starts. You can
you throw Glass now out of the pen.
Exactly. You can take those guys and put them in the pen. I mean, Robleski can be a pen guy. Sasaki can go back to the pen. He had success, obviously, in the World Series last year. Even Ohtani, if they figure out how to make him a designated hitter and a reliever at the same time, he could be used in the bullpen in the playoffs for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So I don't know how much, bullpen help they need when they don't actually have room for any more great pitchers already on their roster.
I mean, can you ever have too many? And that's kind of their MO.
Well, I mean, you
right
can
now.
because there are roster limits is the only, but they're kind of up against their roster limits in terms of what they can actually add. That's why they're considering trading Eric Lauer. I've heard the names of both Emmett Sheehan and Justin Robleski on, potential discussions if they're going to acquire a Tarek Skubal. It's probably they're going to ask for one of those already in the major leagues pitchers, plus 1 or 2 of those top prospects. The Dodgers do have a loaded farm system as well. It's what makes them the favorite to land not only Skubal, but really whoever they want to get. They have the capital, and really it's a very easy move for them to make because they'll have to trade an Emmett Sheehan just to create some space for whoever they acquire.
Yeah, for sure. Good news yesterday I saw from Annie Halbrun. She tweeted out Joe Musgrove is throwing well into the 90s with velo, feels good with the majority of his pitches, still working through maintaining consistency each inning and needs to build up, but says his arm has been feeling significantly better and is recovering better. I ask you, Ben, Paul, anybody else listening, if A.J. Preller decides to sit on the, 4 guys in the minor leagues that people may be interested in and just give us the old, hey, listen, we're going to get Joe Musgrove back. That's like a deadline acquisition, right? How do you feel about that? Or do you want more? Do you need more?
I mean,
I need more.
I think, Paul,
I love Joe, but I need more.
It's such a weird place to be because, like, if you acquire a back end guy and then you get Joe and Nick back, you may have just acquired a guy, not just a rental for 2 months, but like a rental for 1 month, just to get you to the point where you're getting better starters back. I think I saw both of those guys did a 2-inning simulated up-down game.
Yep.
The reporting from Annie on Joe Musgrove, what he said, throwing well, tracks with what I've kind of heard in terms of where Joe is, like doing pretty well. What does that look like against major league hitters on the field? There's a lot more to it than just velocity and movement. There's going to be command. There's going to be the adrenaline and controlling everything after not pitching for almost 2 years. But I have heard good things about Joe. I've heard less, not bad things. I've just heard less things about Nick Pivetta and where he is in his process of returning. But, those 2 guys probably are better than anyone you can acquire, realistically on the market. 'Cause again, I don't think they're getting Tarek Skubal. So I consider those 2 as your top 2 guys you could possibly get back later in the season, which means anyone else you're getting is just a stopgap until those guys potentially return.
And again, we do this every single trade deadline. There will be names that we had no idea, right? No idea were available, no idea that we were interested in. David Schoenfield didn't see this coming. A.J. Preller does this every single year. So I'm interested always to see what he can acquire and for how much and what could help this team. And again, he's not going to just build for this quote unquote wild card, run. What he wants to build for is the next couple of years. That's his MO. He wants to get a guy with a couple of years control. I don't know how he does it. I have no idea how he does it or who he's got to part with, but that would kind of be my guess as to the direction he's going to go.
It's almost surprising at this point when A.J. Preller doesn't surprise us a little at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
When is the last time that, his moves were telegraphed and the national media was all over it, and then finally, and then they pulled the trigger. I think the biggest...
Both the Soto trades, acquiring Soto and trading Soto were pretty much a foregone
expected.
conclusion.
That's true. The whole Max Scherzer, I remember us talking about it leading up to it and whether it was possible, and then he did it, we thought. And then, of course, we got the rug pulled out from under us at the last minute in that situation. But for the most part, the moves have come more from unexpected places with A.J. Preller rather than the ones that the media talk about constantly in the weeks leading up to the trade deadline.
Yeah, no question. It's going to be an S show. It always is, and it's weird, man, because I do want them to be smart, prudent, plan for the future, all of those things. You want your cake, you want to eat it too. But I think I'd be pretty disappointed losing, a guy like Ethan Salas for some sort of rental. I don't think it's going to happen at all. Now, if we're in a different position here and you really look at this team and go, oh my God, this is the squad. This is the squad to do it. Yeah, that's a different story entirely. But, AJ's going to be looking for arms that can help him beyond this season, as well as the rest of this season. He's going to be looking for a bat, as a lot of teams are. It's just going to be interesting to see when these moves happen. You're seeing a couple trickle in. The Logan O'Hoppe deal, certainly not a blockbuster, but, a name at least going to the Texas Rangers.
I think Silseth is actually the bigger name in that deal.
Yeah,
He's
Hoppe
had
got sent down.
Pretty good relief season to help the Texas Rangers here, try to hold off a bunch of teams. Hold off the Mariners, hold off the hard-charging Houston Astros, who are back up to 500 as well. It's going to be difficult probably at this point. I expect the Mariners to probably have a good last couple of months, tested last year like they were, and the Astros have been playing better than most teams.
That was my hot take on the roundtable. You asked for a trade deadline hot take, something that could happen, and I said Dodgers won't get Tarek Skubal. The Mariners will jump in there, and they've got a ton of prospect capital, a team that was, an out away from the World Series, maybe desperately hungry to get back.
I kind of thought that was kind of crazy, and then when I started thinking about it, Paulie, it also means the Mariners could trade one of their other starters to address other needs.
Yeah.
So they could pick up Tarek Skubal as a rental, really fortify the starting rotation. With guys like, Brian Wu and Bryce Miller, but they could also trade one of those other guys. I know Emerson Hancock's name was mentioned, and fill other roles, whether it's bullpen or at a bat, because so many teams are desperate for starting pitching. So you could make up some of what you lost with Tarek Skubal by trading one of your starters. It would make it a little bit more reasonable for you to make a move like that. Seattle Mariners, though, just haven't been that aggressive organization. Right. They went for it last year. They picked up Josh Naylor. Obviously, that ended up being pretty big down the stretch as well. So we'll see if the Mariners are someone that jumps in here at the
I'd
trade
like
deadline.
how about Freddie Fermin for Emerson Hancock? Does that do anything for you? I would take that.
I think they're hoping more that Cal Raleigh steps up rather than finding someone to replace Cal Raleigh.
He can DH. That's fine. You need a good, solid catcher back there at all times.
Why did you mention Freddie Fermin then?
Frederick Fermin could get that job done. But no, if Emerson Hancock's available, I think that's somebody you definitely have to look at too. Years of control for him as well. I do believe in good stuff. And man, these are the kind of guys that you need to be going for right now to set you up the rest of this year and beyond.
Woods, you are going tubing this morning.
I am going tubing, yes.
Heading out shortly. So are we saying farewell to you right now?
Yeah, we'll say farewell. I'm going to go see if I can get a visit from Honolulu Hannah before the kids get home. So.
All right, well, then have a very nice weekend, and maybe we will see you on Monday. Try to update
You'll
us
see
at
me
least
on Monday.
Okay,
oh my
you
God,
think so you're going to find a place to broadcast from?
I'll find a way, buddy. I will be there. Is Glazer in the whole show or what?
No, just in the 9 o'clock hour.
Okay, I can come in and do the first couple hours.
Perfect.
Sure.
All right, so we will see Woodsy after the weekend. We will come back. We got our management report with Craig Stammen coming up at 8:35, so we'll have plenty more Padres talk MLB Reach Around, Roundel Report, and more Guns N' Roses tickets to give away. All ahead, so don't go away. More Ben and Woods continuing here on a Friday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Halfway home on a Friday morning. Welcome back to Ben and Woods. Woodsy is now on vacation. It is 6 a.m. He's got all of Friday, all of Saturday.
5 a.m. actually.
All of Saturday. 5 a.m., right. 5 a.m. in Kauai. He's got all of today, tomorrow, Sunday. Says he'll be back on Monday, which is great. I do appreciate him. Not for Adam, not for Odyssey, Paulie, but for us.
Of course.
And keeping the show together and keeping it going all week. He had Monday as a travel day, taking the last couple of hours on a Friday. We'll be fine. We've got the management report with Craig Stammen coming up at the bottom of the hour at 8:35. We'll get to our MLB reach around as well. But then I head off on vacation after the show, just for the weekend. I will be back on Monday, taking a much shorter trip than Woods, heading to Las Vegas to celebrate my son's 21st birthday. Looking forward to it. I go to like Henderson once or twice a year to visit my buddy.
Right.
And occasionally we'll make our way into Las Vegas for like a dinner or something, but I really haven't done a strip hotel vacation in several years. So I'm pretty
Is the weather
excited.
gonna be hot?
Yeah. I think 115 is what it's looking at.
Yeah, it was like 104.
I brought my bathing suit, but it's like one of those 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Maybe you can go out to the pool when it's still like 96.
Yeah,
And then
after that,
you're inside the rest of the day. Here's always the problem with Vegas. You come in with the lights and the sounds, and you just dream that something good is going to happen, something amazing. And of course, in my dream world, I've got my sons like at a roulette table with me, and I don't. Neither of them have really done much gambling, so we get a big stack of chips and we put them out, and the ball spins and we hit a big number and we celebrate. And our
looking
chip
for like
stacks,
a scene out of like National Lampoon.
That's exactly what
Vegas
you're thinking of.
Vacation.
And the chip stacks start climbing and everyone's having a good time. And then we go out and, spend some of that money. But the reality
It's like
is
the Saquon commercials. You guys are
It is.
cheers in slow motion.
Exactly.
Strangers are going to be hugging you and cheering for you to win money at
This
the
is
table.
how we always picture Las Vegas.
Right.
When the reality generally is you take your $100 and you turn it into the chips and you put them out on the table and the ball rolls around and it goes, well, that's not black. I put it on red and then, none of my numbers hit. And okay, we're done. That was fun. That was a fun 9 seconds.
Dealer's like, don't touch that.
Of losing $100 as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, no kidding.
On a roulette wheel. But every once in a while, I remember like my first trip to Las Vegas. I don't know how they know when it's your first trip to Las Vegas. They just know. And you win the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Because that keeps you coming back for years and years. And on my first trip to Las Vegas, I was very nervous about like sitting down at an actual table with a dealer. I didn't want to, do something wrong or, get in trouble.
I was so nervous the first time I played blackjack in Vegas.
So nervous.
Terrifying.
It is such a nerve-wracking experience.
21, just so scared.
You got to make decisions
Had
in
no
front
idea.
of other people. You feel like you're going to embarrass yourself and hit on the wrong number or
I
stay
feel
on the wrong
pressure
number.
now. Like, even thinking about it now,
Yeah, I still do.
I
I
still
still do.
feel like some pressure. Like, yeah, totally.
I know most of the odds and the decisions now, but I still get kind of nervous. So I was mostly staying to the machines, and I did like video poker. It's like, I get to make some decisions. Feels a little more like a card game, but it's also electronic, and I get to sit by myself, and I don't have to worry about it. So I was playing a one of those machines, like double bonus machines, where the 4 of a kinds are the big payouts.
Okay.
And I'm just playing, the normal quarter machine. and I put in my 5 quarters to get the maximum payout, and I see 2 aces come up, and I hold them both, and then I get 2 more aces and like a kicker 2, and all of a sudden the light goes on, like, oh, this isn't a jackpot, like, because this was back when you still had like coins dropping out as opposed to just a ticket being printed. I go, I've never seen this. There's a light going on, there's a sound coming on my machine. Like 15 seconds later, one of the casino employees walks up to me, just starts hundreds, like $1, $2, $3, $4, $500 right into my hand. And I go, this is the greatest thing ever. So, you would think responsible Ben just pockets that money. But no, I decide, well, now it's house money. So
you went to the Spearmint Rhino, didn't you?
No, I just moved over like 3 feet to a 50-cent machine of the exact same kind. So I double my wager. Second hand, right on the deal. Ace, 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 4. And the light goes off again, and I'm going, holy cow. The same employee walks over and looks at me and goes, didn't I just pay you? And I go, yeah, on that machine over there. And I moved over here. And she goes, yep. God. And she takes out the stack of hundreds and goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, $1,000.
Oh my!
And now I have 1,500. I've never had 15. This is when I was 21.
First one was 500.
500 and then 1,000. I have never had this much cash on my person in my life, and I am now holding $1,500 in cash.
That's awesome.
And at that point, I did mostly pocket it for the rest of the trip and took a lot of it home with me and used that to fund about a month and a half of college lifestyle at that point
seriously.
In my life. So
God, I didn't catch any breaks like that when I was like going to Vegas at 20 or 21. We'd go out there for like the Mountain West tournament every March, and no, never any breaks like that. I did have one night, me and my wife were at a casino and just playing some slots and sat down, like 2 spins in, hit like $1,100, which was awesome. And then we literally like got the ticket out or printed the ticket, and I was like, I need to go sit down for a second somewhere. I just need to be away from the machines for a second. I just want to collect myself. That was awesome. Go back, 10, 15 minutes later, find another machine, sit down. Like, dude, within a few spins, $600. Like, I walked out of there like $1,800. It was amazing.
And then, of course, in the 30 years since, every time I've been to Vegas, I've never had anything close to duplicating what happened on my very first trip to Vegas. So I don't know how they know when it's your first trip. But things have changed so much. Not just the coins dropping out. There's no more. You don't need coins at all in Las Vegas anymore. Everything is tickets and maybe cash, but mostly it's you put your players' cards in. But now I can barely. I feel like I'm a smart person. I can't even understand the slot machines anymore and what it takes to win. Like the five real ones that are video, and you're going like, okay, what are the diagonal payouts? So here are your 27 different payout lines. It's like bottom to top, top to bottom, over.
Did I win or not?
See,
and then I just skip
to me, that's like, are you really gambling if you're just skipping right over and go, just tell me if I won or not?
Yeah.
Just tell me if I won or not.
Essentially, yeah, I mean, it's still gambling.
See, I like the thrill
you
of
don't need to watch
the reel spinning for a second, and then it would stop, and if it's in the middle, you go, oh, here's another one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's another one in the middle. Cherry.
Like, you can understand like what you're hoping happens to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you can, like, if it's there's 3 different colored balloons and you got to dump coins or something into them to fill it up and pop it. Once it pops, you get the bonus. You can't influence like if you're going to get some red coins when you need red coins or anything like that, but you know that you're playing for that bonus, and that's where you can make some money.
That's the trick to keep you putting money into the machine. I'm so close to paying off that bonus.
I swear they know,
some
like,
of my money back. They have gamed this out for us psychologically and statistically.
Oh, I'm sure.
To maximize the amount of money that we put in those
like
things.
They know,
I know this for a fact.
They know if you put $100 in and you're just betting like $2, spin. Like, eventually when you get down to like $7, all of a sudden you magically like win another $30 or something. Keeps it going.
And they have enough of those wins that keep you thinking like you got a chance. Like, yeah, I bet $5 on this spin and I won $3.25. You feel like you won, even though no, you didn't. You lost $1.75.
So it does feel a little bit rigged in that sense, but you win enough to they've got it down to a science where like they know how much can you win to keep you coming back for more?
And I mean, I trust that there are some big winners, very small amount, but there's people who, end up getting the big jackpots, which is why people keep coming back. Mostly, though, I just, it's just a fun experience. And I think for me, what I'm looking forward to is having my kids really get to experience it as adults for the first time, where they can do whatever they want and enjoy themselves for the weekend.
Yeah.
America's Playland.
I like Vegas for the one reason I love it is that you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? You can kind of make it whatever kind of trip you want it to be, whether you want to be the high roller, whether you're going out there for a concert or sports or whatever. You just going out there to get a massage or go play some golf. And, of course, the gambling and all the other fun stuff.
I would love to play golf. Not happening this weekend.
No, I didn't even. We drove out a couple of weeks ago when we went, and I did think about, I could probably get out there, 6 a.m. before it gets too hot. No, it wasn't worth it.
We're going to one of Emeril Lagasse's restaurants tonight. I haven't been in years, but I remember they have one of the best banana cream pies I have ever had.
You love banana cream pies.
I love a good cream pie, and I will expect to be enjoying one tonight as well. So I'll have a full report on Monday when we get back on how the trip went. We will get to, hopefully Darren Smith, will find him at some point here.
Yeah, his phone was going straight to voicemail. Couldn't get a hold of him. So if he texts me back, I said, if you see this before 10 o'clock, just let me know.
I'm not mad. He's done a lot for us this season. And he's also traveling. I don't know if he's on vacation or...
Is the team on the East Coast?
They are in Minnesota, but he hasn't generally
he was on the East Coast.
He hasn't generally been traveling to call games with the team.
Yeah,
he
so
calls the home games, so he might be on his own this week. So maybe we'll catch up with him. Maybe we won't. Before we get to Craig Stammen, why don't we take a quick time out? We'll get to our MLB Reach Around, review the wild card race in the NL, all the results from yesterday's game, and we'll talk a little more baseball. Coming up, we are broadcasting live from the Bill Howe Studios. We know how. It is Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
This hour on The Fan, brought to you by GL Pools, the swimming pool experts trusted by thousands of San Diegans for 20 years. Baseball season is in full swing. So is swim season. Make sure your pool is ready. Call now and mention radio for 20% off new service plans in 2026. Now, if I do get out to the pool, I could take this with me, but this is not a pool beach towel. This is actually the Mason Reaper blanket that they're going to be giving away. We saw Mud and Dawn showing this one off yesterday with the Reaper and the Mason Miller signature. It's a theme game item, though, I'm told, for tomorrow. But there are still tickets available. I believe it is a theme game only item for the San Diego Padres. I was looking that up, but they dropped some off earlier this week. So very hot item. And I know a lot of those theme games packages get sold out quickly, but I believe they still have some available for tomorrow night's game against the
Padres.com/theme game.
Theme game. Tonight, though, is Friday, so it's Party at the Park. Party! But tomorrow's the theme game with the Mason Miller Reaper blanket. Although it's been so hot this week, I saw people wearing their ponchos at the game, and I go, that looks miserable.
Got one of those over here, too.
That's a little more for, colder weather time. The blanket, it's for the off-season. But I can't imagine a lot of people will be decked out in their blankets on Saturday night at Petco Park unless it's a beach
Gallagher
towel out of
Square.
Gallagher Square. You can lay it out like a
Picnic.
picnic towel.
Yeah.
But we do have one in here in studio, and you still have a chance to get yours by getting your theme game ticket for the Padres. We will talk to Craig Stammen coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, let's take a look around the rest of Major League Baseball. It is our MLB Reach Around. They're doing the reach around. They're doing the reach around. Everybody doing the reach around. All right, we'll start in the National League wildcard race where the Padres, of course, fell to the Giants 4-1, but did not lose ground to anyone who was playing, at least. Every other team that was behind them also lost, so the Padres remained in the first spot out of one of the National League wildcard positions, 2 games back of the Diamondbacks and the Phillies. The Cubs beat the Cardinals 4-2, another extra inning game after losing extras on Wednesday. They come back and win 4-2 in 10 innings yesterday and take 3 of 4 from the Redbirds in that NL Central series. The Cincinnati Reds beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 3-2. Nathaniel Lowe with a walk-off fielder's choice grounder. I didn't see it, but I assume they were trying to get the double play to end the inning because there was runners at first and third, and they got the force at second, but did not get the return in time is all I can imagine, because why would you not throw home if the game is over when the run scores?
First and third?
I think so, and the run scored from third. They got the out at second, so my guess
Where
is
does the ball hit?
Short.
I
believe.
Yeah.
Short to
Imagine
second,
you go corners in and middle double
and they
play
tried
depth.
it, but maybe it wasn't hit hard enough. But I never actually saw the highlight of that one.
I didn't miss that.
Let's see. The Mets beat the Marlins 4-2. Luis Robert had the tie-breaking 2-run single in the 8th inning. So after sweeping Philadelphia, getting swept by the Padres, losing 12 in a row, then they sweep the Philadelphia Phillies, and now they lose to the New York Mets 4-2. So, I don't know. The Miami Marlins don't make any sense right now.
Does anything in baseball make sense these days?
Not really. The Atlanta Braves beat the Washington Nationals as well. So, again, no one making up any ground on the Padres. 5-4 the final there. Ronald Acuna Jr. is back from the injured list and hit his 8th home run of the season. So that's a pickup for the Braves. And we were talking about the trade speculation earlier. David Schoenfeld was thinking maybe the Braves are the team that ends up picking up Tarek Skubal at the trade deadline. We've heard, obviously a lot about the Dodgers. I think the Cubs are a name we've heard a lot. I had not heard the Braves mentioned much in that one, but with their injuries that they've suffered, losing Spencer Strider, a couple other guys, maybe they are all in this year.
Who would it scare you the most if you're the Dodgers? Because we've talked about the idea of they don't really even need him. Of course they want him. Everybody wants Tarek Skubal, but there's even the element of them getting him, acquiring him, just so that no one else in the playoffs potentially signs him.
Yeah, I think the 2 teams that would scare me the most if I'm the Dodgers, if they picked up Tarek Skubal, one would be the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, they're going to get a bye,
which
probably.
Doesn't seem like something they would do historically. Like, they've had really good teams and they've sold and still made the playoffs. I don't know. Do you think that they would kind of switch narratives?
I would be surprised.
They don't seem like a team that goes all in on a rental.
At some point you do have to put your chips into the middle. I mean,
I
we're
agree.
Just talking about Vegas.
They're my number one team that would freak me out if I was the Dodgers, because you put him in that rotation with Mizorowski in like a 7-game playoff series. You could throw both of those guys 2 games each, and that's not great if you're any other team.
And that's exactly why. If you're facing the Dodgers in the NLCS, and you've got those 2, Skubal and Mizorowski.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit out of the Dodgers' hands. I mean, if those guys are both on, how many runs can you score in those games?
Yeah.
Not many. So that would worry me if I was the Dodgers, if he goes to the Brewers. And again, just because the Brewers haven't done it, they've got their, we want to stay competitive, we want to stay young, we want to stay cheap. You win a World Series, it brings in a lot of money for your organization, and you can overcome, okay, it was worth it to get, if they win the World Series, it absolutely would be worth it to get Tarek Skubal, even financially. The other team, and you're going to laugh at me, that would worry the Dodgers, Padres. I mean, I don't want the Padres to all of a sudden have life and go, oh, now they've got a Skubal at the top of the rotation, and Tatis and Manny have been hot in the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what I want if I'm a Dodgers fan. I'm not going to panic and go, oh, we're in trouble now. I'm still going to go,
right.
Yeah, we still, that was dumb. We still got you. But in the back of my mind, if there's another team that I don't want to get Tarek Skubal in the National League? It's probably the Padres. I don't think they're going to again. I don't think the Dodgers are too worried about the Padres doing it. But my guess is
I think if the
it would
Dodgers
give Andrew Friedman just a moment of pause, going, "Oh, really? Yeah."
I think if you're the Tigers, you let the Dodgers know, hey, by the way, we're real close. We're on the 1 yard line with the Padres, and all they have to do is go, all right, fine, here, take Davelin.
Yeah,
too,
I think there's some bluffing going on right now, possibly. So that's absolutely the case. The Dodgers did win again yesterday against the Seattle Mariners. I think the final was 6-2. I fell asleep in the ninth inning, though, so I got to check that just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, 6-2 was the final yesterday. Dalton Rushing hit a 3-run home run in support of Roki Sasaki. The White Sox got another win. Is this a magic season for the White Sox? They're leading
compared to where they've been in the past.
Leading the AL Central, another extra inning, 2-1 win over the Yankees in 11. It was scoreless going into the 10th, and then both teams scored 1 in the 10th, and the White Sox scored 1 in the 11th. I mean, it was a couple of years ago. The White Sox were historically bad. A joke. And now they are very much a potential playoff team. And in the American League, who knows? I mean, we could see the White Sox, I think, in the World Series just about as easily as we could see any other team in the American League right now.
I don't know if I'm ready to go there yet.
I know that's crazy, but, I mean, who are you so confident? You know, the Yankees? Well, they just got beaten in a series by the White Sox. The Rays had been, up and down and some struggles.
I guess, for me, I'm always kind of you got to show me something. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's been different teams in the past, but, like, it's hard for me we just talked about the Brewers, for example. Like, they never show up in the postseason, so I'm hesitant to ever be like, this is the Brewers year or whatever. We haven't seen the Cubs or the White Sox really do anything to make you think that they're going to go on any sort of a run. It's different in the postseason. Those lights are just a little bit brighter. There's a little bit more pressure, and that's still a really young team. So I don't know that I'm fully ready to go there yet.
I loved this one, the Twins and the Royals. So we've watched enough games. Padres are just not doing anything offensively, and you just chalk it up. We're going to lose this
Yesterday was a perfect example of just a lackluster, boring, flat game.
And that's the same thing for the Twins. They were down 3-0. They were getting no hit through 6. They finally got one hit after 8 innings, but they're still down 3-0 going to the 9th. They had lost 500 straight games when trailing by 3 going into the 9th inning. They somehow put together a rally. They load the bases, but they're down to their last strike. 0-2 count on Cody Clemens. And he hits a grand slam. So they did nothing for 8 2/3 and 2 strikes, and then end up winning the game on one swing of the bat.
Probability.
Yeah,
just going nuts.
I saw that. So, Cody Clemens added more expected win probability to the game on one swing than anybody had all season, because they were running at about 0.08, and then he hits the grand slam, and all of a sudden he added almost the entire one of win probability for the game on one swing of the bat. So that was cool for the Twins. Rays beat the Rangers 3-2. Cedric Mullins hit a tie-breaking home run in the 8th inning as they win the series from Texas. And the Red Sox, as we mentioned earlier, just can't lose. They got back-to-back home runs in the 8th from Wilyer Abreu and Wilson Contreras in a 5-4 win over the A's. Get some new matchups tonight as the Padres continue their 4-game series against the Giants. We will also be looking at other series, like the Cubs host the Yankees. The Pirates are in Cincinnati to take on the Reds. The Phillies are in Baltimore to take on the Orioles. Cardinals are in Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. And then the Diamondbacks and Guardians are going to be playing in Cleveland. The Marlins are in New York to face the Mets, and the Nationals are in Atlanta to take on the Braves. So
it's going to be bonkers for a couple of weeks. I mean, the Padres, we were talking about their FanGraphs percentage to make the playoffs, and it jumps really dramatically, really, between every loss or win, depending on what other teams do around you, because they got, 4 teams within a game of them. you drop one,
Yeah, it
you drop
changes a
2
lot.
out of 3 or whatever. Like if the other teams behind you win, like all of a sudden your playoff chances can go from like 24%, I think they're at right now. They drop back down to 8, and then you win a couple in a row, and they go right back up to
It does,
19 or 21%.
There's going to be a lot of swings very quickly, and we'll talk about that with the manager. Craig Stammen's going to join us on our management report. It is coming up next. Don't go away. More Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I may need a little SDFatLoss.com when I get back from my trip. Let myself enjoy myself because I know also how to eat and lose weight fast thanks to the great coaching I got from SDFatLoss.com. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days 3 years ago, and I've kept that weight off for the entire 3 years. Changed my metabolism, didn't have to exercise to lose the weight, and you don't either. But you will probably feel good enough when you're done that you can exercise more. I've been able to. My metabolism has been up. It's helped me keep the weight off. Love the SDFatLoss.com program. I recommend it. You can lose up to a pound of fat per day, 10 to 20% of your body weight in 60 days without any GLP-1 injections that are expensive and usually cause you to lose muscle, not fat. Plus, it's all based on real food, so no shakes or bars to buy, no prepackaged meals, just your regular stuff from the grocery store, eaten right at the right times in the right ways, and you can lose weight really, really fast. Set up your consultation right now. It is free at SDFatLoss.com, and if you like the program, sign up now. Get $200 off during their summer special at SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
He just here. I'll show you a little. Just a little.
Please
just a
don't.
little bit. What hurts on you?
Nothing at all.
A little bit.
Not that now.
So let's say
whatever you're about to touch is the only thing.
Let's say
It's gonna hurt.
Right?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Pretend your knee hurts.
Pretend your knee.
It's going to in a second.
Right here.
Oh, that is not pleasant.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Back live from our Bill House studios. We know how. It is a Friar Friday, City Connect Friday, Party in the Park Friday as the Padres get ready for another game against the San Francisco Giants tonight.
I wore my City Connect gear this morning, and when I was getting dressed this morning, I go, it's been a minute since we've had a Friday night home game. It feels like.
Well, that was
July. That feels like the team's never here.
Very long road trip. In fact, the last time we talked to Craig Stammen, it was before the All-Star break, before a 10-game trip. The season ended like 4 times, according to Padres fans, and then was saved again with a 5-game winning streak. And honestly, last night, for the first time in like a while, Padres lost, but I didn't panic about it. Now, we know our next guest, Skipper Craig Stammen, our SDCCU manager, report. It's not big bank banking. It is better. Has never seemed to panic after any of these losses. So it's nice to finally put myself in your shoes. It's okay to lose a game. We know you weren't going to win the rest of them all season long, Craig, but it's good to have you on this morning.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
How did it feel to win 5 in a row after, the ups and downs of this season? That winning streak had to feel real good, especially with such a tough trip always coming out of the All-Star break.
Yeah, it was much needed, and it was much needed at the end of that road trip, too. You always wonder how, what kind of energy the guys will have after long road trips and, long stretches without days off and stuff like that. And especially going to Miami where they have a lot of family and friends that are, Latino players, guys from Dominican, Venezuela, a lot of family come to Miami, and those guys played great. They played great in front of their friends and family, and we were able to, salvage that road trip, make it a 500 road trip, and give us some momentum coming back home.
Craig, what is that like as a player when you do have a lot of family, when you're on the road, maybe not your home stadium necessarily, but, you go on the road to like Miami like that. What is that like as a player? Do you feel like some added pressure? It's a lot going on. Like, is your mind elsewhere? What's that like?
Yeah, there's just usually a lot going on, where you got to set up tickets and hotels and you go up to breakfast and dinner with, everybody that's in town. So it's just a little bit more on your plate. But it's also fun too, because you love playing in front of your friends and family. You love showing off for them. You're trying to play really well for them. I think the biggest thing is sometimes you just try too hard because you want to have success in front of them. You want them to be smiling after the game and being able to celebrate a good game and a good game that you played. But it's more good than bad, and I know those guys look forward to that trip, and they're probably also happy when it's over too. They can get back to just their normal routine of playing ball.
Craig, let's talk about pitching chaos, or Chris Ello calls it stitching the quilt together, and how you've kind of been managing each day out with your pitching staff in the last few days, and pretty effectively, honestly. How did you guys come to the decision of how you're going to kind of work these days? And you've talked a little bit about setting guys up with matchups. What's that process like as you're plotting out an opponent and a lineup and who might fit in well for certain games?
Yeah, I think we try to plan it way out ahead of time, and we realize there's a lost cause. It changes on a daily basis. So we meet daily before the game, we meet daily after the game and talk about our pitching plan. It kind of came about, with everybody, all of us kind of talking together, the front office, pitching group, myself, other people in the organization, just to all right, how can we maximize our pitching staff in its current state? How can we get the best out of them? Is it the traditional 5-man rotation? Is it just kind of waiting and seeing and trying to predict, when they're going to give up a run and try to get them out ahead of time? Or, should we schedule it a little bit more? Should we make it a little bit more specific? So all those things we discussed and kind of came up with this way we're doing it for now. And, hopefully at some point, we get back to that normal, 5-man rotation. But at this point, the way it is, it's worked all right a couple games. We're kind of getting to the point now where we're running out of bodies. Fresh arms, but hopefully when Walker pitches and Michael pitches, that kind of gives those guys a breather, and then we can get back at it again. But it's definitely a changing thing, daily, nightly, in game. It's a lot of work on our end, but it's also fun to try to help us win games in a creative manner.
Don't know if it came into play at all, but we were chatting with Eno Saris from The Athletic. Knows his pitching pretty well yesterday, and he mentioned that we've grown up in baseball where the vast majority of pitchers are either expected to go 5, 6, or 7 as a starter, or 1 most of the time as a reliever. Maybe you have 1 or 2 guys who can stretch a little bit more than that, but no one's ever really looked at what happens if a guy throws 2 2/3 or 3 1/3, like faces a lineup once or 1.5 times through, that they can be really effective, that you can actually maximize the number of innings and effective innings from more pitchers by having them be 2 or 3 inning guys rather than pigeonholing them as 1 inning guys or full on starters. Is that at all part of the equation here?
Yeah, for sure. I think if we've played college baseball or maybe even summer ball or something like that, we've all experienced this. I did this. I remember playing a Legion baseball tournament, double elimination tournament. We had all of our pitchers were the infielders, and we just kind of rotated around the infield and took turns pitching, every 2 innings, and we kind of just went through the tournament like that. And that's kind of what this kind of premise is that same thing, or college baseball where, you have your probably, like a place like Dayton, you have 2 good pitchers or 3 good pitchers that you can rely on. They start the weekend games, and then they also come back in the midweek and pitch a couple innings just to help you win those midweek games. The only problem with the major league season is you play every day and we don't have those days off, but, that makes it more difficult. So that's the challenge with it. And especially in this part of our season where we've got 26 out of 27 days of games, we don't have that off day in there that helps us kind of reset the pitching staff. That off day after Miami was very helpful. Now we're on a stretch of 16 where we don't get that off day. It'll make it a little bit more difficult. But after that, we have some more off days, might make it a little easier. But it's a challenge either way.
It's our SDCCU management report, and that's Big Bank Banking Not Better with Craig Stammen, manager of the Padres. And this is your first trade deadline as manager. I noticed earlier this week that you have already mastered what you're supposed to say, and that is, yeah, I love the 26 guys we have right now, and they can win us a championship. Of course, the reality is A.J. Preller is working the phones and, may add some pieces. You may have to subtract some pieces as part of that as well. How do you deal with that now from this side of things, knowing you may have some players in the clubhouse who are wondering what the future holds for them the next couple of days, keeping their minds right? Like, what's going on right now in your clubhouse?
Yeah, I think, it is the right thing to say, but it's also what I really believe in my heart, too, is like these guys are all Major League Baseball players, and they were on our team for a reason, and it's because we value them, and I value them, and they've put their heart and soul on the line every single day to help us try to win as many games as possible. So, what I feel about these players is I care about them. I want them to have the most success they've ever had. I want them to experience what I got to experience as a Major League Baseball player, where you're on a team, you have a role, you feel valuable, and you get to experience the playoffs and the chance of going for a World Series. So that's how I look at those guys, and I, try to treat them that way every single day. I don't really talk about the trade deadline with them. They're probably seeing enough of it on, all the media platforms that they can look at. And so we don't really talk about it. We do it as, normal day business. We're out there to play baseball, figure out a way to win. Whoever you are, you're a valuable piece to helping us win this game, and we're going to, help each other, be there for each other in that same manner.
Craig, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, of course, maybe your boss, A.J. Preller, once or twice in the last week might have approached you, and if he were to have approached you and asked, looking at the roster, are there just kind of areas, maybe not specific players or anything like that, but just areas that you would like to see addressed at Monday's trade deadline? What would you hypothetically say back to him?
A lot of hypotheticals.
Of course,
yeah,
hypothetically.
We talk about, that stuff very often, not even during the trade deadline. How can we maximize our roster? What options do we have? Those types of things. And, I leave a lot of that up to him. I give my opinion. It's not like a strong opinion. I trust what he and the front office are doing with the roster, and then we kind of go from there. But, it's clear, like, we're running a pitching staff that's, we're running it just a little bit differently than what, we're normally accustomed to. And, would we rather have 5 starters roll out there that can go 6-7 innings? Yeah, that's, obvious. But are we figuring out a way to win this way too? And that's kind of where it goes. Like, yeah, you could change the roster, but does it help you win or not? And I think, that's his decision making to make me to help him talk through it and be someone that's in his corner and can give him what my thoughts or my opinion. And then, we all collectively make a good decision on what's best for our team.
Craig, what's your thinking on Randy Vasquez right now? I mean, was obviously great yesterday. He was critical for your starting rotation earlier in the season, had some time on the injured list, and has kind of come back in this, bullpen role. But how do you evaluate when he's ready maybe to go back into the rotation, if he ever is, and give you, 6 again at times? What are you kind of seeing from Randy?
Yeah, we've kind of decided with Randy we wanted to see him kind of in this hybrid role out of the pen and see if we can, unlock something with him and maybe find a new role for him to help him have even more success than what he has as a traditional starting pitcher. I think yesterday, out of necessity, we he had to go a little longer than really we want in that role, but it was just probably a nature of the beast of us, the way we're running the pitching staff right now, and he stepped up and did a great job. But I think the games before that, previously, one in Miami and in Atlanta, where he had little shorter stints, and even Kansas City, where 3 innings was kind of, the max that we wanted for him, to be able to bring him back a little sooner and use him a little bit more often. That's kind of what we envisioned for him. That could change, after this last outing, he went 4 2/3 and 67 pitches, so he's going to need, probably 4 days off before he pitches again. So, all that'll be on the table when we get to that day. But, the crazy part about this is we don't know who's starting in 4 days. So it could be him. It could be somebody else.
Speaking of stepping up, Luis Rengifo. We sometimes see stories like this where guys get hot, but he hasn't cooled off yet. I mean, he's swinging a good bat, gives you that switch hitting option. It must feel like, this was just an unexpected gift that we found here at the middle of the season.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice when guys like that step up. Samad Taylor did the same thing a little earlier. Rengifo's doing that right now, providing a spark for our offense, just for our team in general. He's got a very good attitude. He's always smiling. He's always energetic. So, a switch hitter also is a huge asset to our team right now, and him being able to swing it well from both sides of the plate, which isn't always the case for a switch hitter, has been, very crucial for us in this little stretch and good stretch of winning games.
So we got Bradley Rodriguez getting the start tonight, and then my guess would be after that, let's see what happens, right? And keep the San Francisco Giants off balance.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's also a big piece of this too. Is and it doesn't allow the other teams to really prepare. Unless they're guessing on who we have available and who can pitch. How they can game plan for our pitching staff. So I think as this goes further along, teams will probably get a picture of how we're doing it. But in this little time period right now, we have that advantage of being a little stealthier, with who we're going to use.
Well, he's not just playing baseball. He's playing a little poker, got some bluffing, some strategy going on right now. Craig, good luck this weekend. We'll obviously talk to you in a couple of weeks post-trade deadline, see how things are going. But appreciate your time this morning. Thank you very much.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
There he is, Craig Stammen, manager of the Padres, or SDCCU Management Report. It's not big bank banking, it's better. Someone in the chat said it's not. It's big bank banking. It's not better. I said earlier. So
why don't you say it one more time and do it right?
It's not big bank banking. It's better.
There we go.
It's SDCCU. Thank you very much. You can even tell listening to Craig, it might not be the most fun way to have to decide every single day at the last minute. All right, who's going to be our starter tomorrow? Who's going to follow that pitcher tomorrow? Who are our options? How many innings can they get?
Yeah.
It's taken an already difficult job and added a lot of daily stress. But at the same time, it is kind of working for the San Diego Padres right now. And they've tried it other ways that haven't been as effective. So, hey, you don't change something that's broken. Padres will probably keep doing that until they maybe add some stuff by Monday. So,
does it make me pessimistic to say, like, yes, it has worked, fairly well up to this point, but am I too pessimistic in saying I need to see it against a little bit maybe better quality opponents?
I mean, it doesn't make you pessimistic. I think it makes you realistic, which is fine. But we have seen now, JP Sears wasn't great yesterday, but Padres still could have won that game had they hit a little bit more.
They also could have been blown out 9-1 if a couple of hits
there were
go
a couple
the Giants'
of
way.
opportunities.
I mean, they had runners in scoring position all night long.
They
so,
did. They did.
That's the other side of the what if. Game.
But that's baseball as well. I mean, they put together a rally with a bunt and a walk and a wild pitch, and that's how they scored a run. You're never going to have a game. You're going to have games where those kind of things happen. Yeah. That's why you don't sweep. That's why the Dodgers don't sweep every series. They're better than every opponent they play, but they'll lose games from time to time. They're not going to hit. They're going to hit, and they'll hit some line drive outs. Padres actually had a few. I think they had 5 of the 7 hardest hit balls yesterday. They weren't completely inept. They were thrown off balance by Robbie Ray. No doubt about it yesterday. We'll see if they can bounce back tonight against Carson Whisenhunt in Game 2 of the series. We'll talk more about it. We'll get a roundup report, some headlines coming up next with Paulie. Final hour of the week. Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods, going until 10 o'clock. And we got Braden and Frank, and then we got the Gwynn and Chris program and some Padres baseball this weekend. We'll go through the pitching matchups this hour. We will also give away some tickets to Guns N' Roses. Got our final pair for the concert coming to Snapdragon Stadium in September. Our thanks again to the skipper, Craig Stammen, for joining us on the SDCCU Management Report. I thought he sounded okay. I saw some people in the chat go, you can really hear how the season is wearing on him, and I'm sure there is quite a bit of fatigue when you're working. I didn't realize the Padres were in what did he say, 26 out of 27 days? I think he did. So 10 games to start after the All-Star break, 1 day off, and then 16 straight days again for your San Diego Padres.
That is a lot.
It's a lot of baseball right now, mixing and matching with starting pitchers every single day. Just for the sanity of the team, they kind of need to pick up a starting pitcher or two at the deadline.
They were off on Monday. Their next off day will be on Thursday, August 13th.
That'll be the day before we talk to Craig Stammen again. So we'll have another 2 weeks from today, an SDCCU Management Report coming off the next off day for your San Diego Padres. Yeah, I mean, survival, dog days of summer, of August, is where some teams fall apart and other teams actually thrive. Oftentimes you see teams get that extra bonus of facing other clubs that have hit the wall in August, and you just run through and you get more winning streaks later in the season. We've seen it both ways for the San Diego Padres, good and bad. Like in 2021, they just couldn't win a game in August. Clearly it hit a wall. But then in 2024, they went from 500, and all of a sudden they just kept winning and winning and winning in August. And by the time the season is over, they had 93 wins. And
that was fun. I remember that.
You get a lot of that, though, in baseball in the second half of the season, where if you get the right schedule and you face some teams that, have run out of pitching or traded away some guys at the trade deadline, and they're playing some young guys and it's kind of chaotic, you can run off a lot of games. In other ways, if you face a bunch of contenders that just added 3 starting pitchers, and you can lose a lot of games this time of the year as well. So we'll see which direction the Padres
How do you think it's going to go? If you just had to guess, do you think there will start to see some separation in the wild card standings, or because of that extra spot now in the last few years, is it just like there's just going to be 5 to 6 teams kind of fighting it out the rest of the way?
I think you always see some separation. There will be teams that fade.
Somebody's 2 games out will be 7 games out or something.
I'm getting the sense that like last year, where the last wild card spot in the National League, I think the Reds got it with 83 wins. I don't see that it's necessarily going to be that much different. I mean, which of the Marlins and the Pirates and the National, no one's really killing it right now. So it could be like an 84, 85 win thing. I mean, that means the Padres would need to play just 3 or 4 games above 500 the rest of the way, theoretically could get them into the playoffs. Now, that could change. If the Diamondbacks and Phillies both play really well the rest of the year, you're going to need more than 85 wins. But if one of them continues to struggle, 85, might do it. 86 usually does. So, we're not talking about climbing Mount Everest here for the San Diego Padres. We're talking about winning just a few more games than you lose the rest of the season could get you into the playoffs. Shall we do a Reindl report?
Sure, we can.
All right, let's do that.
Want to do a Reindl report?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do a Reindl report.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hey guys, it's Paul here.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right. Happy Friday, Benny.
Yep.
Almost there. Almost there. All right, we will get started. I want to get started with a local note in the NFL as training camps are getting ready to begin, and the NFL season will be here before we know it. Shout out to San Diegan, born and raised Chris Olave with his new 4-year deal with the New Orleans Saints. Signed a 4-year extension that is worth up to $132 million. 90% or $90 million of that is going to be guaranteed money.
That is a job well done, Chris.
Yeah.
And he has
San Isidro, I think. South Bay area.
Olave. Why do
Where did
I
he go to
want
high
to
school?
say Mission Hills High School? Am I thinking of someone else locally? No, you're right, San Isidro. Very good. But he did go to Mission Hills High School in San Marcos. We are both right, Paulie.
Crushing it.
Originally from
There it
San
is.
Isidro, but went to
Eastlake.
Mission Hills High School in San Marcos.
Eastlake High School for 2 years, then transferred. But,
No wonder we couldn't nail it. We were both right.
Yeah, how about that?
Ohio State standout, and now really good NFL player, wide receiver at this point. Did you see the other breaking NFL news this morning, Paulie? Tony Romo has been placed on leave by CBS Sports following his very high-profile DUI arrest.
We
and
talked about it the day after
the
it happened.
mugshot,
Have we
yes.
talked about, have you seen any of the body cam footage
some
now?
of the TMZ had some of the body cam footage. Remember the mugshot we showed you was the most pleased I've ever
shot.
seen. The smug shot. No one's ever been happier to be arrested than Tony Romo was earlier this week. And then some of the body camera footage came out, and officers asking you, have you been drinking? Are you on any medications? Have you had any surgeries? And Tony Romo's clearly having fun with it. I'm an NFL player. I've had every injury in the books. And then they ask him to do the, walk the line and do the series of, and he's doing he's going stretching to get ready for it.
When they asked him, have you had any head injuries or concussions? Because, my man was already kind of feeling a certain type of way. And you see it he's looking away in my eyes, the way I took it was he doesn't want to necessarily pull the, I'm Tony Romo, right?
Exactly.
But how do you answer that question truthfully without being lady, I played in the NFL. Yeah, I've had a few head injuries.
Yeah, I had a few head injuries during my standout Pro Bowl NFL career with the Dallas Cowboys. You may have.
Do you like football?
But Tony Romo, obviously very high-profile CBS top lead analysts on their broadcast.
Yep.
So don't know if this is a full season thing or how when he's going to be able to come back. But that just was announced this morning.
Whatever happened with who was it? Matt Leinart? Didn't he have a crazy drunken night as a broadcaster?
Yeah, I believe he's out of a job, and
so
maybe still facing charges.
I think
as
so.
well.
I thought I saw some sort of an update on that in the last couple of weeks, but that was the only one that came to mind. We'll switch gears here. Want to switch gears to the WNBA. Now, this actually could have been a don't do this from earlier in the week. The WNBA had their All-Star weekend last weekend where all the top players were together, and the WNBA actually, they shared this video of some behind-the-scenes footage.
The WNBA shared it.
WNBA, at WNBA, shared this on their social media platforms, and it's somebody on their social team catching up with Paige Beckers is walking by, and they asked, hey, what about that bet that you and Angel made? Her and Angel Reese in workouts before the All-Star game made a little bet. Here's that video that
All-Star weekend, you and Angel made a bet with each other on this game. Is that bet still?
This is how the rich stay rich. You gotta save this money. I'm gonna see you next week on Wednesday.
Yeah.
At night?
No, at practice.
Oh, at practice? I mean, I know y'all gonna lose, but if y'all lose, I get to have that. If y'all win, you get 400. And if we lose, then you get. No, you owe me 400.
So they're at All-Star Weekend, and they made a bet on their upcoming game.
No, it wasn't a bet. You could hear them say, if you win, you get this 400, and if I lose, I get 400 from you. I don't know if is that a bet, Paulie?
Maybe it's trading money is what everyone's using now on Polymarket and all those other ones. But so the WNBA
definition of a bet. That's a
yes,
bet.
That is a bet. The WNBA, they posted it with the quote from Paige going, "We did." And they're having fun. It's a lighthearted moment. And it says Paige Beckers on the bet she made with Angel Reese at All-Star Weekend on tonight's matchup. And it didn't take long for their comments to be flooded with, I'm sorry, isn't that illegal for WNBA players to be betting on WNBA games, just like and NFL players betting on NFL games or MLB players betting on MLB games? Yeah, it might have been a lighthearted moment, caught at practice, but technically the league put out a video of two of their star players betting on a future game.
I think we've gotten to the point where all-star games are so silly and pointless that no one even realized that they're actually betting on a game that other people can bet on in like a Las Vegas casino. There will be a line on that game. There will be people who bet on the WNBA All-Star game.
Yeah.
So the outcome does matter, which means you can't have players betting on that actual game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't know. At first, I wasn't sure if they were betting on who was going to win the WNBA All-Star game or if they said, because Angel, I think, said, we play you guys next Wednesday. Like, I didn't know if they were talking about their upcoming game. Either way, you're right. It's the All-Star game may be an exhibition game, but when the public can bet on it like that.
I think the social media person was like, so excited to look, they actually care about this game.
Yes.
Like, look how much they care about it. They're like putting money on it. They care so much. We got to show everybody this before no one ever actually thought about the ramifications of what they were doing.
Fridge Water in the chat says they weren't betting, they were just predicting.
Right.
Yes, They were predicting. All right. And then we will keep it kind of in sports, but a little bit more lighthearted. Woodsy and I are very much in on the baseball card collecting.
Really?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I didn't know.
Just a little bit, but maybe not as much now because in the latest set to come out in the last few weeks, Topps Chrome, there was a card that had been placed in one pack. One card, a 1 of 1, and it's a Shohei Ohtani, a double gold logo man card with two different Shohei Ohtani autographs, and this is what everybody was definitely chasing. Now, you, of course, can get other cool cards, but the number one card in the set was definitely this Ohtani card. In fact, I saw that some company had put a bounty on this card that if and when it's found, they will pay $10 million for it. Well, that card was found this week, I believe yesterday, in Florida at a card store. Kind of just your average Joe walked in, bought a box of cards, pulled that insane card that pretty much, like I said, the starting point was like $10 million. He wasted no time. He did not take this to auction. He wasted no time at all. He sold it in the same day. A private buyer bought it for, I believe here, $11 million. I don't know if it's 11 and some change or whatever, but $11 million for one card. They're saying it may be the number one Shohei Ohtani card in his career so far.
This is so Willy Wonka, like golden ticket stuff that Topps can just hide one of these in, I don't know how many, hundreds of thousands of boxes that they're sending out, and know that whoever happens to land on it can turn it into an 8-figure payday.
Yeah, it's got the...
And they decide, like, we're going to make a 1 of 1. Today, we'll make a 1 of 1 with Shohei Ohtani, and it's going to be worth a fortune.
No, you're right. I mean, as cool as a 1 of 1 would be if you ever pulled it, it could be anybody. It could be some backup shortstop or whatever. A 1 of 1 is still pretty cool, but, that player for every... If there's 20 sets of cards or whatever that come out that year, each set has a 1 of 1, so it's not even really...
I guess I just want to know, like, how is Topps deciding on when they're going to put out these 1 of 1s? Because they can do whatever they want. It's their company. They have the licensing rights, and they can make them as scarce as they want, or they can flood the market with as many of them as they want.
No, you're not wrong. It's totally a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory type of golden ticket, and for that guy in particular, that was he won the lottery essentially when he opened that pack. Now you would say, okay, well, now that card's been pulled, does that mean all the other cards become a little bit cheaper? Because it does work the other way. Like if that card doesn't get pulled for 6 months or a year and it's just sitting in some box on some shelf somewhere, then every sealed box that has not been opened could still, in theory, have that card and be more expensive.
This is like when Veruca Salt's dad bought boxes and boxes and had all of his employees just opening chocolate bars for weeks.
Yeah.
Until his daughter got a golden ticket.
Hey, it worked.
It did.
It got her there.
She got her golden ticket.
Baruka, sweetheart.
But she ended up getting sent down to the incinerator, I believe.
Baruka was a bad egg.
Yeah, she was a bad egg, unfortunately. We found that out. I don't know if it was a bad egg who found this card, but they're very happy that they get their $10 million payday for.
Well, I know us in the hobby community, we were all happy to see that it did go to like the normal guy, like the average Joe, because typically those big cards, those big chase cards, they call them, they just always seem to get magically pulled by some big popular streamer with a ton of viewers on release day. And you go, that's interesting that you just happen to keep buying these lucky boxes.
I wonder if Topps knows where they're sending it, or once it's in a box, it could go anywhere. You said it was in Boca Raton, I believe.
Boca Raton, Florida, yeah.
Florida, just a card shop. Just got their shipment of boxes.
Yeah, and they have different types of boxes. You know, you can get a bigger box for like $200. You can get a small box for $40. So, in theory, the way they want you to believe it is that, it can really literally be in any pack. You could get it from a $7 pack at the store or the $300 box at the store.
Is there any way we can get in on creating limited things and then charging a lot of money for people to try to find them?
Like a one-of-one radio show? Like, we're going to delete this show
exactly
at 10:01.
You can buy
and if you want to hear
a
it,
bunch of different ones, but if you get the one of one, you're the only one who gets to listen to it.
This is the only show that's going to sound exactly like this.
We do a one of one every single day, and it's not. There's no extra value added for whoever finds it. I mean, I think we're doing this wrong. Obviously, Topps has figured out how to make a lot of money. How much, like these boxes you said could be like $200 in a box.
Yeah, the bigger boxes with more packs.
But people will pay it because they have that tiny chance that there may be something worth $10 million in this box. More than likely, the cards altogether will be worth what? $30-$40, you know?
You'd be lucky sometimes.
For a $200 box, but there is the chance. And basically, my weekend in Vegas.
Well, they did it. They did it with that Mickey Mantle card earlier in the year. They're gonna put one epic card out there to keep everybody coming back, including me and Woods.
Yeah, Kelly Sober says I'm explaining NFTs, Ben and Woods coin. we can just start with that and then go from there. All right, thank you, Paulie.
You're welcome.
Good edition of the Rindle Report. When we come back, we're going to give away those tickets to Guns N' Roses in September at Snapdragon Stadium. Look ahead to the rest of the weekend matchups. Not that we have any idea who's pitching for the Padres because, well, we just heard from the manager, and he really doesn't have any idea either. So it makes it harder to preview these games, but we'll try our best. Coming up, broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, we know how, on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
At least when I go to 7 Mile Casino, I know what I'm getting. I know which cards are in the deck. I know how to play, and I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it. I know you have some fun opening the baseball cards. I get it. I have fun playing Texas Hold'em poker, sitting down at a table, going through the strategies. Sometimes I win, sometimes I don't. But at 7 Mile Casino, I always have a really good time, feel comfortable. It's upscale. Honestly, it's better than any card room I'm going to find in Las Vegas this weekend. Just as true. Those are all usually at the back of a smoky casino somewhere. This is smoke-free. It's got windows. It's got views of San Diego Bay. It's got friendly dealers and comfortable chairs. There's TVs everywhere throughout the whole card room and in the restaurant at Sammy's at 7 Mile, where the food is outstanding. You can go this weekend and check out the award-winning brunch, Best in the South County. Only available Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., but you can get food any time of the day, any day of the week, 24/7 on the 24/7 Players menu, including the spectacular Kung Pao chicken. Please check it out this weekend. And if Texas Hold'em isn't for you, you got California-style blackjack, Pai Gow poker, baccarat. You can have fun with any of those games. Go with friends, go on your own, however you want to do it. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
It's National Talk in an Elevator Day. You don't even know what happened. I think it was 2 days ago. I don't know why I agreed to this, but I was leaving the building here at our Odyssey headquarters. We're up on the 6th floor. It's very nice. We got views looking out toward Mission Valley and Serra Mesa. It's nice here, but you go down the elevator, and I get in, and I am with George, our sales manager, and our newest account executive, Katie, just joined our Odyssey team. And George says, "Oh, Ben, you know Ben, he does our morning show." And I said, "Yeah, we met when she came up a few days ago," and I said hello. He said, "Ben is a great broadcaster. He can do play-by-play of this elevator going down." And I'm thinking, why would I do play-by-play of the elevator going down? But of course, I am very agreeable, so I just launched into it. All right, we're at the 6th floor, heading down here at the Odyssey studios, and we're down to floor number 5, floor number 4, and oh, wait, we're stopping at floor number 3. This was totally unexpected. Doors are opening, and some guy gets in and we have another passenger in the elevator heading down in our Odyssey studios. All right, doors are closing back again. Are we going to make it back down to the ground floor? We're at 2, and yes, we make it down to 1. The ground floor, the doors open, and the car completely exits. Thank you for riding down our elevator here at the Odyssey studios. I don't know why I did it, but I was just trying to be agreeable because he asked me to. Is that elevator music, Paulie? National Talk in an Elevator Day.
Play-by-play.
I did play-by-play
of your elevator ride.
Not on my own volition. I didn't want to. I was forced to do it. That's dumb.
I'll tell you right now, if I'm on, say, floor 4, and I press the button, and I wait for a few seconds, and then bing, and I go to the middle elevator as it opens, and there's some 6'4" guy doing play-by-play. Not only am I not getting on that elevator, I'm probably calling the police or at least the property security.
When the old guy, who we have no idea what's on the third floor, what business is he visiting? Does he work here? I don't know. I had the moment, like, do I cut it off here because we've got a stranger now entering the elevator? But no, I just rolled with it all the way down. So I was just celebrating National Talk in an Elevator Day a couple of days early, getting a jump on the big holiday here on July 31st.
It is unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. If George was
Is that
smart,
how it works? Like, we just tell you to do something and you'll just do it?
Apparently. If George was smart, he would have videoed the whole thing. We would have had content
now
for
I'm at least, my interest is piqued enough that I would like to know if we at least have a security camera maybe in the elevators
possible,
with some
yeah,
audio. Because if I could get that, there's no amount of money I wouldn't pay for Ben to just be like, all right, fine.
George said I nailed it, so we'll see. If you find that video, we can play it next week.
Man.
If building maintenance is listening right now and has access to the security cameras in the elevators, I mean, they rarely have audio, right? Sometimes they do, though.
I think so, yeah.
And who knows?
God, that's really funny.
Yeah, I rolled with it. Before we give away the Guns N' Roses tickets, this is important, and I do want to address this because I got this note yesterday via the San Diego Padres, but it's actually a event that's coming up tomorrow from the King of the Hill Foundation. The Padres Foundation, the King of the Hill Foundation, which is Michael King and his wife Sheila, and Beyond Type 1 are bringing No Curveballs, a free Type 1 diabetes screening event to Gallagher Square at Petco Park from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The first 200 fans in attendance are going to receive a gift bag that includes tickets to an upcoming Padres game, which is very cool. You do have to register online. You can search No Curveballs and Type 1 diabetes to find the link if you want to go down there. But the reason this is so important, Mason Miller is going to be there as part of a panel. He, of course, has Type 1 diabetes. But I will reiterate the story. My eldest son, Jack, we had no idea, and when his type 1 diabetes onset at about age 14, he nearly died. If we had gone to a screening event like this, we perhaps could have saved certainly a lot of trouble and maybe even his life. So if you've got kids, it can sometimes begin as early as, like in the 8, 9, even younger range, but even teenagers, it can onset at like 12, 13, 14. You don't really know. But if there are some markers, they can test your blood and different levels, and they can see that perhaps you have susceptibility to it or could be heading down that road. And you find out now it is treatable with insulin, as Mason Miller does every single day, just like my son does. Anytime he eats, he has to give himself insulin to match the carbs that he is eating. If he does not do that, then his blood sugar will skyrocket and he can go into ketoacidosis, which can potentially be fatal. The same thing is if you give too much insulin, your blood sugar can go too low and you could pass out. So you have to have that sugar ready to keep your blood sugar at the right levels. Mason Miller deals with this on a daily basis. I think it's Sheila King's family. That's also a big thing. It's why the King of the Hill Foundation focuses on this. And this is a great opportunity for everyone to go out there, especially if you've got maybe kids, to go out, register, get tested, and maybe even pick up a free gift bag, including Padres tickets tomorrow. So the No Curveballs event happening from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Gallagher Square at Petco Park.
Very important PSA. Thank you for that, Benny.
All right, let's give away some tickets. We got one more pair. Guns N' Roses coming to Snapdragon Stadium on September 2nd. Tickets are on sale at Ticketmaster.com. But you can win our last pair. Fourth caller at 833-288-0973. I see Polly's locked down the line, so keep dialing because at some point he's going to unlock them, and the fourth caller is going to win at 833-288-0973. Guns N' Roses at Snapdragon Stadium on September 2nd. And we will come back with our matchups and maybe some topic wheel. Finish out the week here with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
He just here. I'll show you a little. Just a little.
Please don't.
Just a little bit. What hurts on you?
Nothing at all.
A little bit.
Nothing. Now,
So let's say
whatever you're about to touch is the only thing.
Let's say
It's gonna hurt.
Right?
All right, yeah.
Okay.
Pretend your knee hurts.
Pretend your knee.
It's going to in a second.
Right here.
That is not pleasant.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Congratulations to Fridge Watcher, who Paulie shouted out in our YouTube stream for a comment about 30 minutes ago, and then he called in and won the Guns N' Roses tickets during our break. So, hey, it pays to listen to Ben and Woods sometimes. This hour on Ben and Woods brought to you by David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
And he wanted to, I think you actually were just about to do what I'm
right,
about
but
to
go
do.
ahead.
But before we go on too much longer this morning, wanted to give a shout out. We do a lot of birthday shout outs on this show, but wanted to shout out Heather Lake. It is not her birthday.
Not to her family. Don't
no,
shout out to her
not shouting
family.
out to her family. But I mean, also, like, shout out to them, but not in that way. No, shout out to Heather, because today is her last day with Fox 5. I saw a post that she put out on social media like within the last week, and I believe she said 18 years that she has been with Fox 5 here in San Diego, and that is a very, very long time to stay at one place, one network, in one city in particular. And you know, she's always been good to our show. She's come down to our opening day broadcasts and done some stuff with us on Fox 5. So wishing her nothing but the best.
Absolutely. Competitor, but always liked Heather a lot, and she's definitely got more still to give. Whatever her next act is, we will be very interested to see what it's going to be. Very talented anchor and weathercaster for Fox 5 for many years. So
they were showing like a big montage on the news of all of her, fun moments throughout 18 years. Because she's had one of those fun jobs where, what do you call like her type of reporting, where you're like kind of on the scene. It's like, hey, she's gonna go down to Comic-Con, or hey, this new crazy coffee shop just opened up.
Yeah, I mean,
special interests.
she's like a woman on the street, sort of like reporter who's going out to whatever's fun going on.
Like she gets to do the who's gonna fly with the Blue Angels. We're gonna
participatory journalism sometimes. Yeah, some of that as well. I think we saw her jumping out of an airplane, going down like water slides, boogie boarding on a wave machine pool. She does a lot of fun stuff. So, she's crying now. Oh, this is.
You gonna do play-by-play of that now?
No, I'm not going to do play-by-play. But yeah, congratulations to Heather. We've got Padres more Giants matchups this weekend, and I mentioned it yesterday. The pitching matchups for this weekend series will test the Padres offense. They failed the first test against Robbie Ray, who's been very good, probably his last start with the San Francisco Giants. Too bad they didn't trade him a couple of days earlier, so the Padres had to face him, only scored the one run. Today is the one that you're really not sure about. Carson Wisenhunt is starting for the San Francisco Giants, and we know Bradley Rodriguez is going to start as an opener, at least, for the Padres. Herman Marquez is the presumable bulk guy because it would be his day to pitch in the rotation. We'll see if he comes in first or after Bradley, or second or third, however that is. And then on Saturday, tomorrow, Tyler Mahle is going to pitch against Walker Buehler. Mahle had a really good start his last time out, I believe, in a Giant shutout win. And then Sunday, Landon Roop will pitch against Michael King. And Roop pitched really well against the Padres, I think, a couple of times earlier this season. So you got some guys that have been tougher on the San Diego Padres or are throwing well during this series. So that offense is going to be tested a little bit more, and hopefully they've got more to give than we saw last night because, as we know, even when pitching chaos kind of works, it generally works 2 or 3 or 4 runs allowed. You've got to score 4 or 5 or 6 to find a way to win. And the Padres have been averaging like 5+ runs a game since the middle of June. That's the best in baseball. That's enough to win a lot of those games, but you score 1, it's not going to be enough in a lot of those games. So we'll see what happens this weekend. And then I was kind of looking ahead toward the Arizona Diamondbacks series that starts on Monday. We'll be focused very much on the trade deadline on Monday, but we'll also, of course, be checking out that series, which is going to be one of the more important ones of the season, with the Padres trying to chase down the Diamondbacks in the wild card race. And they will face Eduardo Rodriguez, I think, in the second game of the series. I think Brandon Pfaadt right now is scheduled for Monday and Eduardo Rodriguez for Tuesday. And then a couple of guys that I don't know much about on Wednesday and Thursday for that series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. I guess there are a couple of their younger guys. See the names again. Mitch Bratt and Cole Drake in the final 2 games of that series.
Now, those aren't real players.
That could change a lot. With the trade deadline coming up on Monday, you can throw a lot of next week's pitching and matchups out of the window, but just did notice that and, kind of looking ahead toward the next week of what the Padres are going to be facing. All right, that's enough baseball. I think we're spent for the day. Let's spin the topic wheel a couple of times, and then we'll head out for the weekend.
Excuse me. What is a rich people thing that's actually not that expensive?
Ooh, a rich people thing that actually is not that expensive.
Like a simple upgrade in your life or something, a simple,
Got me stumped on this
I know,
one,
I'm kind of
Pauly.
stumped myself.
I mean, not everything that's nice in life is super expensive, that's for sure. But I'm trying to think of something specifically like an upgrade that people do. Maybe the chat can help us out. Keeping It Real says like a pedicure. Yeah, I mean, you manicure, pedicures. They're not super. I mean, you can get $30-$40. You can get a pretty. Most people can
Maybe
afford
that's
that
more
from
of a
time to time.
treat yourself, like instead of a weekly setup or weekly appointment.
But I guess maybe rich people get to do it a little more often or have more time on their hands. Perhaps something like that is not a bad call. Probably like getting just slight. It's a lot about like slightly nicer things. Like when they go get a haircut, it's always going to be like a $200 or a nicer haircut as opposed to I'm satisfied with the $40 trim that I'm getting, but they're probably not going to do that.
They have like T-shirts that cost like $600, $700, $800 or more.
But that's not cheap. That's expensive.
That's an expensive one,
for sure.
I didn't like that question. I'm gonna just spin it again.
Oh, Gonzo says a bidet. I don't know how much. I know Woods has one.
I have
It's not
one.
super. You have one
We have
too.
the attachment, not like a
real
special bidet toilet.
separate one. But that's a good call.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good one. What is the scariest animal that is harmless to humans?
Did we do this one already? I was going to say like a possum. Possums are not bad animals, but if you have ever been in the dark in your yard, and we get them occasionally, and they crawl on our fence, and they look at you, and the light flashes off their eyes, and they kind of got this
terrifying
hissing look at you, it's
They're
one
probably
of the
just scared.
scariest animal things that I have ever encountered. I think they're completely harmless and actually somewhat helpful to have in your yard occasionally to get rid of other things that you don't want, but my God, it's a scary moment when you run into one in your backyard in the dark.
I see Zach put owls. I would say yes. Not a huge fear that an owl is actually going to swoop down and try to pick me up.
And if you've got mice or something that are trying to get in your house, owls can be fantastic to have around you because they will.
But I don't know what it is. If it's just the movies freaked me out because you always hear an owl during a scary scene in a haunted movie or whatever. But I can just picture if I'm walking my dog at night, if an owl flies by it, I don't know why, it kind of freaks me out.
Now, I think we did it the other way. Orca's bone of my sword says those are very, very dangerous. Killer whales. I know that they have them at SeaWorld and they look cute, but I think they're dangerous to everything. They're predators, and they can swim. I don't think you want to be in the ocean with a killer whale unless it's very well trained at SeaWorld to begin with. So, jumping spiders. I see in our chat, Megan, yours says pit bulls. Pit bulls get a bad rap.
No,
there are some
because we have a pit bull.
Yeah, there are some very sweet pit bulls.
Yeah.
But my colleague who came in a couple of weeks ago, Tali Latoy, got bit by one the other day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was barking at her and then got loose and grabbed her on the leg, and she had to do the whole report it to Animal Control Services and get a tetanus shot and everything, which is
awful.
it's just awful when that happens. And you never know, when a dog gets spooked or something, it's not necessarily the dog's fault. I feel a lot of empathy for the dog as well in that situation. But of course, we can't have just dogs going around biting people either all the time. So, yeah.
All right, want to do one more?
One more. Yeah, we can do one more.
If money did not matter, what job would you want to try for a year?
I feel like this is the job that I would want to do if money didn't matter. I'm lucky that I get to do a job, but something, money didn't matter.
Like a fun job.
I mean, are there fun jobs that just don't pay anything at all? How much does a pilot make?
They make good money.
I think I'd want to try that, but I don't think that would be because money doesn't matter. I want to be a pilot and they don't get paid anything.
I think would you want to be a pilot for a year?
I'd actually be interested in being an airline pilot. I think the stress obviously would be difficult at times, but knowing you're responsible for that. But the idea of flying a plane is not the worst to me. Now, I don't want to jump out of a plane. I don't do it because I'm a thrill seeker. I don't want to pilot my own two-seater.
Right.
I would want to be a jet pilot, a United Airlines pilot who flies routes across the country and stuff. I think that would be kind of interesting and get to travel a little bit and stay in different cities and different airports and whatever. I'd find that kind of fascinating for me. I know that wouldn't be true of everybody, but for me, I think that would be interesting.
I'm trying to talk myself into some other job ideas, but then I'm I don't know if I could do that for a year. I do think I was actually thinking about it kind of randomly recently. I was watching a TV show or a movie or something, and there was a lawyer, and I just started thinking, I'm not wired that way to be I couldn't ever have gone to law school. There was way too much to learn and know. And I never had that drive to be that diligent with how much studying it takes to become a lawyer. But I liked speech and debate class, and I like arguing. And I'm if I was able to just comprehend or get all that information for a year and be able to be like a competent lawyer, I do think I would enjoy like the courtroom style of work.
Yeah, that was what I was kind of planning to do if the whole radio thing didn't work out.
You either would have been the world's greatest lawyer or the world's worst lawyer.
I have a few friends from, college and high school who went that route. None of them really are the trial attorneys, though, the ones that, you'd see in a movie or a TV show. It feels to me like a lot of lawyering ends up being a ton of contract paperwork all the time, which probably wouldn't be all that fun, as opposed to like the adrenaline injection of having to convince a jury of something. But that would be interesting to be like a prosecutor or a defense attorney that has to present your argument, your closing argument to the jury. I don't remember
what show or movie I was watching, but it was definitely, something theatrical like that in the scene. And I was just like, yeah, the way that they're able to like think of like, not loopholes necessarily, but, ways to further advance their case. I'm like, how do they think of that kind of stuff?
I think for me, I would love, maybe if I was earlier in my life, but to try professional golf. There's no way. It's so expensive, the travel to all the tournaments and stuff. But if we're really saying money doesn't matter, and I can afford to try to qualify like mini tours and really work on my game every single day, and I don't have to worry about money, that would have been kind of interesting for me to see how that would work. I think I made the right decision. I wasn't as good enough of a golfer to ever really try that. And I watch our friend Steve Sugimoto and how challenging it is to try to work your way up in the tours and how small the paychecks can be on a week-to-week basis. But it's that dream, like if you can get to the top level and really compete for something special like the PGA Tour and majors someday, that would be something that would be really cool. If money didn't matter, but the money certainly does matter, especially for something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking like baseball player, minor leagues and all that. Obviously, like the money kind of matters when you're, hopefully they're working on improving that lifestyle.
We got a couple of minutes left. I don't know why. It looks like Darren's trying to call us a little bit late. That's fine. We were totally fine with the fact that Darren didn't get a chance to join us, but...
Hello.
Darren,
Hello.
You're on the air. Don't
You're on
curse.
the air. We got like 1 minute left. How's it going?
I'm so sorry. That's so my bad.
Dude,
I apologize. I got wrapped up on time changes and wrapped up with doctors and all.
Yeah, we heard you were traveling. You had a lot on your mind, so don't feel bad at all. Thank you for joining us. Woods is already gone. He's on his Hawaiian vacation.
I'm so sorry. Like I know what it's like when I'm, when I'm sitting in that chair and how like frustrating it could be when somebody just completely no shows with no explanation.
All right,
so
you've got 12 seconds to tell us all about SDFC, the Padres trade deadline, and what's coming up this weekend. Go.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say, Benny, great job on the Billy Ray Smith obituary. That was phenomenal.
Thank you very much.
You did San Diego proud, and everybody really, all of us who worked with him and who were around Billy Ray, really appreciated what you did. You put it into perfect words, so that was amazing.
That's your time, unfortunately.
Darren, we're up against it.
I'm glad you got time to compliment me, though, Darren. I really appreciate
That's all
that.
matters.
Thanks, buddy.
That is. Take care. Have a good weekend. For Paulie, I'm Ben. Brandon and Frank are coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.